Welcome back to another episode of Eddie Fiola's Fact or Freestyle,
where there's no characters, it's only real people.
We sold the show to Eddie Fiola, but we retained creative control.
We're going to find out what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real.
Let's see how far down. I messed up. Sorry.
Oh, I was
Keep
just
going. Keep going.
Let's see how far down
nailed it.
The rabbit hole. This rabbit hole will go. What is it? I don't remember what the line is.
Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go this time.
This time.
Okay, just do that last one. I can fix
the
it.
Rabbit hole. We go this time.
Okay. Boom! I'd end it right there.
I'm so happy.
Whoa! There you are. All right, hit me with it. Where are we going?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in Thunderworld.
Yeah, I
today.
agree. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. What are you talking about, dude? Are you okay?
Are
you on medication? Your eyes look a little glassy.
I was in Hyperstoke, actually. Yeah.
Oh, not one of these times.
I'm working now because I'm working on this jump. I'm working on this like no-handed crack packer.
That
jump
trick,
to
that thing that you. Okay.
Yeah, and I was working out the body mechanics. Like when I first learned it, I did the jump, and then when it lands, it does that like basketball thing, and like it goes back and forth. And so like I had a really good one.
Yeah.
But I hit it this way and it shot me back, and I like washed out, and I was like, holy crap. But dude, I saved it, and I was like, well, if I saved it under that chaos, I'm dialed. So
do you film every one of these?
Yes.
Do you film every one of these just in case something happens? I'm just talking for like medical purposes, for when you sever your spine and like, how did it happen?
I do it for two reasons. One is slow motion analysis.
Oh boy.
Yes. Oh boy, indeed. That's how I figured out. I had to. That's how I figured out that you can't get it before it hits the ground. So you have to catch it on the bounce. I discovered that during slow motion.
Not that I understand it, but yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, how is your Saturday?
Well, I wanted to ask you a question. How do you feel about the MLB's new pitch time clock for this season? What do you think about that?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I knew you wouldn't get it. Do you feel the same about the oversized bases now? You're a big baseball fan, right?
Hold on a second.
No?
Hold on a second.
You're not a big baseball fan?
Oversized bases. I don't even get. There is no way they should make the bases any
They're
larger.
making it easy.
That is.
I wanted them to make them smaller. But see, now the world we live in now, it's all about safety. It's all about safety, not making anyone feel bad, and speeding things up. And that's what they're doing with baseball. So now in baseball, the pitcher as soon as the pitcher gets the ball, he has 15 seconds to throw it back to the catcher. And
isn't that just for television?
No, it's for everything, because what it is in baseball right now, last year or 2 years ago, they did a study, and the only people that will sit at home and watch a baseball game, and I was pissing my pants, because they said the average age of a person that sits and watches a baseball game at home, it's usually men at age 54, and I'm 53. So I was like, okay,
why do you care about a pitch clock then? Why do your people?
I don't care about it at all. Oh, I don't care. I don't need a game could last 7 hours. I don't care, especially now with the DVR. Now I watch a game in like 20 minutes. But they're trying to speed the game up for when you go to the stadium, because if me, Elliot, and one of his friends go to a game, the game takes sometimes 3 hours. Yeah. And today kids are on the interwebs and they need shit right now. So they need to get the games that are 3 hours long, and they want to get them to an hour and a half because people are losing interest. Because
You're kidding me.
No, baseball itself is very boring unless you're really into it. Like football, you can just watch it and you see somebody run and there's all the bullshit.
Dude smashing up.
But but baseball is like as bad as watching bowling if you don't know what's going on. Like I can watch a baseball game and I'm like, it's like a chess match. But if my wife watches it, it's, hey, can we get nachos? You know what I mean? Like when I go to a baseball game and I'm like at the stadium, I'm like on my seat watching everything.
Mm-hmm.
I
wish I could do that. That sounds so interesting.
It's really interesting, but it's also, you can't, it's just something you either have it or you don't, meaning like you want it or you, like, it's not something like, gee, I want to learn how to watch baseball and figure out, because it is extremely boring. But if you there's so much going on other than just the pitcher and catcher throwing the ball. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but so they have these new rules because they're trying to speed it up.
I do have some connection to baseball unexpectedly.
Now you're going to tell me that that your great grandfather was Ty Cobb and you have 6 balls that are signed by him and you throw them out. What?
No.
Let's hear it.
When I was the movie Moneyball about the Oakland A's.
It's my favorite movie. And Spike Jones is in it. Did you know Spike's in that movie?
No, wait a second.
He is in the greatest, most uncomfortable scene in cinema history. When Billy Bean goes up to get his daughter and Spike and Forrest Gump's wife are the couple, and they're in this like big Malibu mansion, and Spike is like, hey, how you doing, Alan? I'm really sorry to hear about the game and how blah blah blah. And Spike's not in the credits. I want to talk to Spike about that so bad,
So he
Spike
did it.
Is in that
did he
movie.
sneak? Did he sneak on, or did someone? Or did he just say not?
It doesn't show up anywhere on print. It doesn't show up in the movie. It doesn't show up on that IMDb. Nothing. Alan, the husband, is not on there. He's like Spike. Where else did he do that? He's in a couple other things, I think, where he just shows up. He was in
funny.
He was in Wolf of Wall Street. You saw that, right? Where he was in there.
Wait a second. Where was he in Wolf of Wall Street?
He was like when the Leonardo DiCaprio guy shows up for the first time to like. He's
yeah. He was running the penny stock place.
Yeah. What's your connection with baseball before Dave ruins our fun conversation? Okay. Oh, hey, Dave, what's up?
Hey, Dave. So, Angie and I were on. We're actually talking about baseball.
Yeah, we're talking about baseball. Thank God we got something good to talk about today.
But it's magical, Dave. Okay, so Angie and I go on vacation, and one of the things they do on this vacation is like when somebody new arrives, you sit around a campfire and you say like where I'm from and stuff like that.
What kind of hedonism weird vacation is this that you guys are on?
It was not one of those, but it was like thematic because like they were into like, oh, the spirit of Polynesia, whatever, like the spirit of the islands. It's one of those experiences. Anyway, so we sit down and this I like, Angie doesn't like talking to people. And so I will talk to anyone, even if they don't want me to. And so I say, and I try to like run smoke screen for Angie so that people are like, okay, enough with these people. Let's go to the next one. Right. Like I'm taking Angie's turn. So I go, my name's Joe. I work for IBM and and the other guy was like, oh, I work for IBM. I'm like, oh, cool. Hey, what do you do? And it, like, we kind of geek out. Right. So then it goes to this next couple, and there are these two young women who are younger than the guys, and they go, "Oh, we're ball players," or "We were, you know,
Yeah.
we were ball players," and it ended.
Yeah.
Okay, so then a couple nights later, I walked down from our little where we were staying. It's like a campground type thing. I walked down to like this little commissary, and there's a bar, and one of the dudes there, there was two dudes. One dude was like definitely the alpha dude, and another dude was less of an alpha dude, but they were like best friends. Their wives were best friends. And so the non-alpha dude was there with his wife, and I was like, "Oh, hey, you know, baseball, it's really cool." And I was like training. I hadn't been training with Marty yet, but I was taking it very, very seriously. And I was like, "Oh, you know, here's my training stuff," and and he's like, you know, doing this, and I'm like, "Oh, well, he's shy. Well, I'm just gonna keep talking because I'm gonna bounce as soon as I get my drinks. So why not yap?" And his um I was like, "Oh, you know, well, what do you do?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I was a model." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I lived in Miami
Joe,
Beach."
who the fuck were the baseball guys? You're killing me here with this fucking long story.
The alpha dude was in the Hall of Fame because he was on the Oakland
What?
A's, who was part of the team that was in the movie Moneyball.
What? What's his?
Yes.
You don't know his name?
No.
Do you remember his name?
No.
He was. It's not David Justice, was it? He's not in the
If you
Hall of Fame. Help me, Todd. You know baseball. I can tell by the pompadour.
He was a Hall of
So
Famer.
there was a. He's
from
a Hall
the
of
Oakland
Famer.
A's. And
That
his
team
wife
was
said
only
something like, well,
something about Moneyball.
It was something about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who was all on that team back then that was really good. I mean, they had. I can't think of who. I'll have to look it up, but that's crazy.
Having a model wife that tracks as well with the Hall of Famer.
Everyone's got a model wife. If you're in the minor leagues, you have a model wife. You know.
I was like,
if you're good.
I was like, yeah, well, I lived on South Beach, like 4 blocks down from Johnny Versace, and like that was probably 5 or 6 blocks down from the Ford modeling agency. And she said she was with Elite, and I was like, all right, cool.
Wow.
So that's my baseball story.
Todd, do you have an interweb machine in front of you anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Just look up Oakland A's Hall of Fame, and it's somebody from like anywhere between 1990 and now, and then I'll figure out who it is, who was on that team.
I could recognize this dude if I saw him.
I was hoping, I mean, that's a really good story. I was just hoping you had a little closer connection. I have a really close connection, and I can't seal the deal. TJ Lavin is the king of Las Vegas.
Yep.
And he knows the greatest baseball player that plays right now, Bryce Harper, and he's on the Phillies. TJ's never been to a baseball game, and Warren and I are trying to get TJ to come to Philly and be like, "Hey, Bryce, I'm in town. Like if Warren and I could go to the stadium and kick it with Bryce Harper, my life would be complete, dude. It would be so great."
That's so funny.
TJ's like, I just really don't like baseball. I'm like, dude, you got Bryce Harper's, like, he's got his name and his phone, and like texts him and shit. Like, he'll be like, "Hey, I'm here with my friends that really like baseball." Click. Like, it's like, dude, tell Bryce we would like to come to a game, sit up in that box with your parents, and eat chicken wings for free, for Christ's sake.
We should Bryce. We should get Bryce to sponsor Back for More in 24.
Oh yeah, we need some sponsorship.
Joe, Bryce Harper makes $123,000 every time he goes up to bat. He makes like $500,000 every time he goes up to bat.
Wow, that's pretty.
He makes
remarkable.
more in a game what I'll make my entire life.
That's incredible.
And guess what? And he's underpaid.
Yeah.
Who's that dude? Is that Bryce Harper's dad? Who is that guy?
Yo.
What's up, Anthony?
That guy's. How come you guys got the red hat and I got the generic off-brand white hat logo?
No,
bullshit. I haven't got my shrimp rock on.
This was new for
shrimp rock. Look at that. Stretchy shrimp rock. Stretchy
Nice.
shrimp rock. Stretchy shrimp rock.
Ray, you have a gift pack, a care package coming.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
Coming right now. What is it?
It's
Can you give me a
from
hint?
Chris. It's from Chris.
Chris Young. Now we're talking.
Yep. And he's been busy because his daughter and Shanda are within like the blast radius of East Palestine, and their water's jacked. So he's taking, he's got that he's got to take care of, but he has it in hand.
Dave?
He's just gotta. Hey, what you got there, Dave? Streetwear.
Oh, I just came across this team streetwear with Woody Itson, Richie Gears.
Can someone tell Todd to put the sandwich down and get on that interweb thing I told him to
I
do?
looked.
He's not.
I looked.
He's not. You looked. What do you mean?
I
you
did.
Looked?
I see. I have it here, Ray. Ray, do you want me to send it to you?
Yes.
I didn't
Yes,
I didn't
no,
recognize.
just blurt it out. Read it.
I didn't recognize any of the guys from Oakland A's and Hall of Fame.
Well, no, he
And
could have
so-
been. Hold on, Joe. There's guys in baseball that are on 19 different teams, so he could have been on the Red Sox for 12 years, played for the A's for a week, and then that's what he was talking about. But Todd's going to figure it out for us as soon as he gets done his Dagwood.
I have it. I have it here. Joe, you would have probably recognized Tommy Lasorda.
I would have recognized Tommy Lasorda.
I have
Yep.
a Tommy Lasorda.
I want to hear.
I have a Tommy Lasorda story. I have the greatest Tommy Lasorda story ever.
Oh my God!
Like the greatest. Like I'll tell it on here. It's so good.
Do it.
People
I
love
want to
it.
hear it. I want to hear it right now.
I'll tell it right now. I'll give you the short version.
Let's do
Tommy
it.
Lasorda was one of the most famous managers in baseball. He's from Norristown, Pennsylvania, which is a block away. It's where Eric Otto is from. Yeah.
Yep.
So Tommy Lasorda in like the 30s, 40s, 50s grew up in this area, played baseball, and I have like 51 uncles. That should be the name of a band. I have like 51 uncles that grew up with Tommy Lasorda, and my uncles would always have this story where they got in a fight. After the game, they met Tommy Lasorda on the bridge and duked it out because Tommy Lasorda threw out my Uncle John, and my Uncle John was like, I'm going to kick your ass after the game, and they met on the 4th Street Bridge, and they got in this big rumble, right?
What did they fight about? I mean,
they were fighting about the baseball game. Tommy Lasorda threw a ball and hit him in the head. And then after the game, he was like, I'm going to kick your ass because the game's over now. We can't throw at you. I'm going to kick your ass. This was like in 1941. When they're like 14, 15 years old.
Oh my God.
So fast forward like 40 years later, I'm at this Bridgeport Festival, which is the town in between King of Prussia and Norristown. And they're like, Tommy Lasorda's there. I only knew Tommy Lasorda as the guy that was on This Week in Baseball. He was the wizard for This Week in Baseball. And I went up to him and I said, Mr. Lasorda, can I have your autograph? And I still have the autograph today. I have it like, I used to carry it in my wallet. But I went up to him. I said, Mr. Lasorda, is there any truth? And I was like 12. Is there any truth that you and John Palumbo got in a fight on the 4th Street Bridge? And he started cracking up laughing. He goes, son, I haven't thought about that since the day it happened. Who told you about that? And I said, my uncle. And I said, my uncle Joe, my uncle Pete, my grandfather Jim, my uncle John, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I want to know who won the fight. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he goes, young man, nobody ever wins a fight. And that was it. Tommy Lasorda did me right and didn't say who got their ass. Maybe he got his ass kicked, you know what I mean? But so yeah, me and Tommy Lasorda are like this.
He probably
Eric Otto will love that story. What's that?
That was such a good question. He probably never forgot that moment, Ray.
No, I remember his face lit up when I asked him about getting in the fight with John Palumbo, and his face lit up. He was like, I haven't heard that story in 25 years.
Did they know one another before?
Oh
Or did he
God,
learn his
yeah.
name?
He knew all my uncles. He grew up with them. They were like in the
Oh,
hood, like
yeah.
Bridgeport. I mean, you picture back in 1938 and to 44. There's no interweb. There's no nothing. You're on your little scooter playing baseball all day. So they all knew each other.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
How you doing, Tony?
Yo, Tony.
Tony might be on mute.
Tony made a really good edit for the Jam Circle of all the all the battles that Dave and I rushed to get back to see. Tony, give me a thumbs up if you have audio, if you can hear us. All right.
I think it's frozen. Is he frozen or
he's totally frozen?
He's frozen. Yeah.
All right.
There's Dave.
Hi, Dave.
I have a million questions that I want to ask Dave about his new facility. And
Let's
this is going to be just to start off. I'm going to be in character this show because all I want to do is pick on Dave. So I'm going to be in my pick on Dave character. This does not reflect my personal opinions or my personality while talking with Dave. This is a character today.
Todd, I think
make sure to edit
fair.
that out, Joe. Make sure to edit that out.
Do we have a guy that's going to edit the show yet? Have we found a sucker? I mean, a person?
Yeah.
We have. So the one dude I was going to see in Austin or in Houston, is not taking. He's not jumping at it. Like he didn't even come to the contest. There's another dude who did come to the contest, and I have sent him the raw footage of an episode, and he is actively at work on it. And I cannot wait. He's like, "What are the instructions again?" And I was like, "Watch the show, identify the stuff that makes you laugh, and only include that, no more than 5 minutes." And he's going to go
14-second show. No one's going to watch it.
Well, the long episodes are factOrFreestyle uncut. The kids need the shorter ones. Pat Schoolin gave me a schooling by saying, "I need shorter content out of you people."
It's like
you people.
The full version.
What's he mean, you people?
He talks to me like that.
factOrFreestyle After Dark, Ray.
Oh, okay. After Dark.
Yeah, that's the full version.
Hey, Joe, Keith King had the funniest comment I ever heard in my life. You were doing one of your nonsense things where you're at Thunderworld talking into the camera for 40 minutes, and you were wearing the black look like a black mock turtleneck and the black hat, and he just goes, "You look like you're getting ready to crack a safe." That was the funniest goddamn thing ever.
It was very good. I thought that was spectacular.
Crack a safe.
Did we lose Anthony? What happened to Anthony?
He's having technical problems.
Are you out by the potato barn there, Dave?
Yeah, tell us about the potato dome.
Let's just get straight to some numbers here. Let's get you as uncomfortable as we can get. What's a structure like this and all that equipment? What kind of cabbage you got that you can spend on nonsense like that as a 60-year-old man?
Yeah, especially having the best dirt guy in Portland.
Yeah. All right, so let's hear about this.
Let's hear
structure
Wait,
that you're
the
building
best dirt
for
guy
your retirement.
in Portland? You mean the guy that I hired? Is that what you're referencing?
Where did you get the money to build this?
Who cares where he got
I used
it? I
my
don't know how much it
retirement.
was.
Oh, Ray doesn't care where it came from. Ray wants to know how much it costs.
Yeah. I
Who
used
cares
my
where it came
retirement
from?
funds.
We don't care where the money came from. How much did it cost?
How much did it cost? Numbers, real numbers.
Real numbers, not fake numbers, not hand waving numbers.
It's still
real
adding
numbers.
up.
Where do you expect
When it's
it to
all
land?
done, how much do you think it's going to cost?
I mean, I'll never be done, right? Because
Oh my god!
Well,
At the
as of tomorrow, will it be over 50 grand for the potato barn?
No.
It would 50. No, meaning will it be higher than 50 or lower?
On the first day you ride it, how much do you expect to have put into it?
Oh, that's a great question.
I know, because I'm dealing with
I'll
people.
put in probably 43 minutes of riding.
No,
Oh
how
my
much
God.
money will it
What is that in
cost?
liters, Dave? How much money will it cost?
Well, let me just add it up in my head
Under
real
50?
quick.
Just give us an
way
under
under
50, over 50.
Here
Way
we are.
under
We're at
50?
the spot.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. So that structure there is under 50 grand?
No,
It was a
I'm
pre-existing
repurposing.
structure.
Oh, I thought you had to get it built. What is that dump? What is that?
It's some people call it a potato farm.
What is
that
that
place is,
dump?
it looks like the Hindenburg before it blew up. Where are you?
It's not a Hindenburg.
Dave,
Yeah,
what is that place? 5 years ago, what was that place? Fucking answer a question, for Christ's sake. What was that place 5 years ago?
It was a greenhouse.
Okay, there you go. So you didn't build this thing. I'm totally, it doesn't even matter now. I thought you built that place from scratch to ride your bike, but here it's a goddamn greenhouse that you put a floor in, and now you're gonna ride it. For
I'm
Jesus
repurposing
Christ,
it.
give us some better information.
Well, I never said. What do you mean better information?
I only want to hear Ray ask questions for the rest of my life.
Dave, did you get the floor poured?
No, there was a little delay with the weather. Like today, the weather's beautiful, but Friday they were going to do it, but they couldn't get the asphalt. It wasn't the actual.
The mix.
Oh yeah, what is
was
the?
not.
What was he putting down, Dave? Was that aggregate, or is he putting down?
This is just gravel right now. I'm on gravel. Okay. It's all level.
Okay, yeah. And are they putting in asphalt or concrete?
Asphalt. Way cheaper. I could not afford.
This might be concrete. One of the coolest ideas ever.
So you're going to have an indoor parking lot.
He's going to have an indoor parking lot.
So you went from weed to whiplashes, is what you're telling us.
This is NBD.
I never did.
I don't know that anyone.
That was my stepson. He did cannabis, and then he did.
I thought you were growing it in there.
No, he did cannabis, and then he did hemp, but now he's not doing anything. So I repurposed it. There they are.
That's incredible.
Old greenhouses,
dude. This is such a cool idea.
Well, the better story.
All right, let's talk to Tony for a bit, because he's just sitting there. We got to get him going here. There he is. What's up, Tony?
Not much. Just joining this call to see what happens.
Today's theme is picking on Dave. So if you're available to pick on Dave or have anything to make fun of Dave about, feel free to let it fly.
Say nice things about the Jam Circle. Say nice things about the Jam Circle, Tony.
The Jam Circle was very nice. It was a great event.
The Jam Circle was a lot of fun. It was a real fun contest for sure. I liked the way that kind of you saw the Flatland community kind of come together to, make the spot happen. Kind of just everybody muscling together to make the spot open up. And I love the marketing aspect of it as well. They did a great job marketing. I think they paid attention to a lot of little details that really make a difference in a contest, which is also great. If I would have a piece of advice or hope for the next round, I would hope that perhaps there was a little bit more space for riders to be able to get used to the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's time built in a space that small. There's just not enough time for everybody to be able to get used to it. So it was kind of a challenging floor just to be able to get used to. I think if anybody could have had, a half an hour to ride it, they could have gotten adjusted to it pretty well. But because that time didn't exist, that was the only challenge. But overall, very, very fun contest, and a great vibe all day long, great attitudes. Seems like a lot of great people from the community who were super supportive also came out, which was super cool to see. So I think it was a big win, honestly, in my opinion, for Flatland. I thought it was great.
Now, Joe, if you look at all those images, they're all squares. If that makes sense.
Yes,
It's true.
yes.
It's true.
So no, but for the event, yeah, it was a great atmosphere. As to me, only going to the AFA events lately, I haven't been to any other events in the last 10 years other than AFA. But just the atmosphere, the jam style. I actually really like the battle format. It was one of my favorite contests in a long time, or jams for what it was. The battles were really cool how they were going down. I guess, yeah, my only gripe would be practice. I was getting really angry. Just wanted to tuck my butt at that big LED screen, but somehow I don't know, somehow I rode really sketchy and landed some things. So, but the floor was really fast. So even for me, I'm a real slow mover on the, like, I'll do like a spin that's just like a 180, but next thing I know, I'm going like 360 before I can like really stabilize and get like adjusted to it. So it was a really fast floor, even for a slow style like mine. But
it was weird. It
that's
was like
the
a
downside to it. It was just trying to get used to the floor.
Yeah.
It was like layered plastic. It was it was striated like fiberglass, but it wasn't fiberglass. Very strange.
Yeah, it didn't
floor.
give that. Sometimes when you have that kind of a floor, it will have it will compress a little bit when you dig in. This fortunately didn't, which was good. I'm glad that it didn't, but it was very, very fast. And you almost didn't have the time to figure it out if you could trust it, because
Right.
it looked like it might be slick. And you just didn't have the ability to. There's so many people trying to ride at once. You just didn't have time to really check it out. So,
No,
but
that,
anyway,
that was the worst part about it. Trying to get practice on that floor. Like, even when they broke it down to each group of riders gets like 5 or 6 guys get on that floor. Even there, you're like, I'm trying to do a trick, and then my eyes are going around everywhere, monitoring what's going on around me while I'm trying to focus on riding. That I couldn't. Like, I basically went into that contest cold.
Yeah.
And there was people like spectators coming in and walking around the perimeter, and then they would stop and talk to their friends. And there was this one woman who was doing that while Pete was spinning in a blender, and I was like, pardon me, never turn your back on Flatland.
Yeah, she just didn't have any awareness of
she had no idea what was going on there.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of that stuff as well. But all of Hector's friends are super cool.
Yeah. And Dave took a great nap, it looked like, on the couch.
Yeah, so Dave took a nap.
So nice.
Can you talk us through what what you were thinking?
I was just tired, and I put my earbuds in. I put some meditation music on, and I just chilled.
Was that before your run, Dave? Before?
Absolutely.
So you were getting kind of in the zone a little bit.
Exactly. It worked.
Good. Yeah, it did. You killed it.
I wasn't too worried about getting used to the floor. Because it was really difficult
Hey,
to
Joe,
get space.
Yeah.
would we be able?
Sorry,
I
sorry, I
haven't
talked
seen
too much.
Dave's. I haven't seen Dave's winning run where he didn't touch, and would we be able to watch it and I could give commentary like I was there or something?
I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
posted. It
Where
wasn't
would we get
posted.
it?
I
They
know.
didn't-
but
I
how
don't
come
know
your
that
you-
biggest? How come the
They
biggest run of your
posted
life you
everybody
didn't
else's.
post?
They posted.
Well, I think something happened with the feed, right? Something like the feed got
Yeah.
messed up or
For
something.
whatever reason, they posted Heat 1, but they didn't post Heat. Posted Heat 2, but not Heat 1.
Dave,
Do you have
So-
it, Tony?
no, but I do. I can't pull it up on my phone though. I don't know how to do that.
It's
But I
kind of
did
like the
send it
plane
to
that
Dave
crashed into
in
the
Google
Pentagon,
Drive.
and everyone said it happened, but no one has video of it.
But Dave, the good news is that Tony has it.
Dave has it.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know if he downloaded it, but I sent it to him through Google Drive.
Oh, okay,
So he has
awesome.
my,
Oh,
I've
so wait a
got-
second, Dave. You were given your run.
well,
Did you know that?
Tony, you did mention that. I hadn't seen it though. For some reason, that didn't come through. You said
Well-
you sent it, but
I can
I haven't seen it.
Google Drive and just link you it. So you have to, I don't know, I'm not good with computers or internet, but I think you just have to download it. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can do that through a phone. Maybe Joe knows that better than I do.
Okay, send it to me, Tony. I will see to it that Dave gets it. And
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
that's
sure
nice
right
of you,
now just
Joe.
to
But
make myself accountable.
Oh, look at that. We're doing it.
oh shit!
All right. So who wants to watch Stoney's video? And
This video is so funny.
Ray loves.
I loved it. I love it.
oh
It's
It's-
the best video ever. It's so good.
Dave, have you seen
kinda-
Have you seen
It's
Stoney's?
so good because
I
it kind of.
I think I watched
It kind
some
of
of it,
reminded
yeah.
me. It
'Cause
kind of
you're-
reminded me of like the stuff they would do at my high school in the 80s when they didn't have like the right equipment, but they were like trying to tell a story and they just put the old pictures up and then somebody talks.
Yeah,
But he did it in such a,
it's kind of
as
like
I said, a glorious.
Mystery Science Theater style, kind of.
all right.
Totally.
Are you guys
Oh.
ready for this? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Stoney
Oh, boy.
McGee presents Closure. How's the sound?
Wonderful. Is his first name really Stoney?
No, I have
No.
no idea what it is.
I know.
What is it?
I don't know if he wants you to put it out there.
Okay, yeah, don't do it. I think it's Bartholomew.
That's cooler than that.
I knew I was in for it when I got to that part. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man.
And his icon for you, Joe, is frog bars.
Yes.
Yes.
Ray, we're in the same movie together.
Yeah.
How close
We're
are
in the
you to
same
Kevin
movie.
Bacon?
He's from Philadelphia, so probably really close. His dad designed Philadelphia, like the layout.
Stoney's dad?
No, Kevin Bacon's dad.
What exactly are we doing here again? I made a whole bunch of videos about how I'm going to kiss Bob Harrell's ring when we meet him. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get inside, find Bob Harrell, I'm going to kiss the ring, and you're going to video it. So that's all you need me to do? Video you kissing Bob Harrell's ring? Yep. So we just left the jam circle that we traveled all the way to Houston, Texas to attend so that you can kiss a grown man's ring. Yep. It's stuff like this that makes me quit the show. Come on, let's get this over with.
It's so similar to what actually happened.
There
It's
he
shocking.
is. I see him.
I don't see him.
Similar, it's
Right over there.
identical.
Can't miss him.
Oh wait, I see him. He's over there.
Hi, Bob Harrow.
Dude, be cool.
What'd I do?
He's never gonna let you kiss the ring if you're screaming at him across the club like that. Come on, I'll introduce you. Just be cool. Hey, Bob.
Dave, hey man, good to see you. What's going on?
I'm good. I just wanted to introduce you to my friend.
Hi, Bob Harrow.
Oh, aren't you that joke guy that makes all those memes that no one understands?
Bob, we left the Jam Circle contest so that Joe could come here and get a video of him kissing your ring.
You left a bike contest to come here and take video of you kissing my ring?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
He's been planning this for months.
I've been planning this for months.
So how do you want to do this?
I'll get on one knee and kiss your hand, and Dave will take video.
That's not weird. All right, let's get this over with.
Okay, I'm getting down on one knee. Dave, is the camera ready? Where the hell did Dave go?
I'm over here, Joe.
It's so funny.
I'll be there in 1 second.
It is of the utmost importance that you get over here and let's get this video done.
Calm down, calm down. I'm coming so we can make your video.
All right,
Oh
I'm
my
getting down on
God.
one knee to kiss the ring. Are you ready, Dave?
I'm ready. Are you ready, Bob?
It's funny
I'm
every
ready.
time.
Get down on your knee, kiss my ring, and let's get this over with.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
My camera will only take photos, not video.
That's okay. Just take a picture of me pretending to kiss his ring. I'll put my face right up to his
Oh my
wrist.
goodness.
No one will ever know.
Here goes. I'm taking the photo in 3, 2, 1.
Aha!
My gosh, that guy's.
I like the cease and desist.
What was this from? Was this from the 101 Freestyle Tricks Part 1?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't recognize.
Man, that was amazing.
He also used the Mr. Bill voice for Joe's voice. If you ever saw Mr. Bill on Saturday Night Live in the 70s,
Of course, obviously.
it's the same voice.
Mhm.
Same voice.
I wonder who did Bob's voice. Did Stoney do Bob's voice too?
He did everything.
Oh my goodness.
Bob's voice was
Stoney
so
did not
good.
hire anybody for that. He did it all himself.
Wait a second. Did you see the view count on this? Oh, no. Never mind. That's his followers, not the view count. He's got like 3,000 followers. And I was like, I got it confused. Yeah. Every time I think of that, I laugh. It hasn't gotten old. I don't think that it will get old. And that's exactly what happened.
I love
And
when you
Dave
can't
was-
find Dave. And Dave's like doing a mind
Dave's on a
wedge.
table.
He's doing a gum. He's like, where did Dave go? Oh, that's really funny.
That kind of is, I mean, that's kind of what it's like, right?
Dave
It's
Absolutely.
like that.
Dave rides.
The
with
reason
Chris.
that video is so funny is it's like 99.8% accurate. He didn't throw anything in as a joke. The whole thing was the joke.
Yeah.
He didn't have to add anything to it to make it funny.
Yeah.
That's why it's
If
so
I would have
good.
had my swatches, I would have wore my swatches in that same pair of shorts if I had.
Oh my God, that picture of when I saw Dave in the bondage swatches, I was like, there's nothing funnier. There is nothing funnier than this. Oh God.
Can we hire that guy? And can Eddie Fiola?
Yeah, why don't we just hire him?
We'll get Eddie to send him a contract.
All right, we're gonna
Yeah.
get Eddie to send him a contract. I'll write the contract. I have to take
That is
notes.
brilliant. I mean,
Oh my God. All right, so
I feel
the
like
note is that we have to get I will write the contract for Eddie, and then Eddie will send it over to Stoney.
Let's see. Yeah.
All right. So what else do we have to talk about?
What was your idea? You were talking about the old school bikes and judge the bikes, and I said I wanted. What was that? I forget already.
So
I
some
wasn't clear
dude.
on it.
Yeah. Let me get into this. Let me switch count. I'm going to switch accounts.
I think the idea was verifying old school sellers.
Oh,
Right?
that's what it was. I have a couple stories about when people would build bikes today to resemble what we had back in the day, and I may have talked about it before. I don't know, maybe not on here, but how I got fully soured on the old school collecting, and I just like quit because I couldn't. I was so upset by what I saw.
Really?
And it's not like anything bad. Yeah, it's not anything bad, but I was more embarrassed. Well, I'll just break it down.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So back in the 90s, I bought a brand new mint condition 66 GTO. I went to this dude's house, the guy had it, and I was like, dude, what in the hell is this thing? I'm like, is this a GTO? He's like, yeah, 66 GTO. The guy redid it to a bolt. Like, it was brand new, everything was original, most badass GTO you'd ever see in your life. I bought the thing. As soon as I got it, people were like, hey, there's a show up in wherever. I went to this show. I won best of show. Okay. All I did was roll up and I won best of show. Well, then I got stuck talking to the car guys, and they're like, yeah, man, I got a 12-volt posi with a Humpty Dumpty rear bumpty, and I did all the powder coat with the Trips 3 banger and a blah, blah, open air, cocking the balls, flirter and burner. And I'm just like, I go, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, well, how did you get this something? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, I just bought this car and rolled it down here, and fucking everybody just turned around and walked away because they were appalled that I'd roll up there in that car and I couldn't even find out where to put the gas in it. It was behind the gas tank. It was behind the license plate. I'm like, where do you put gas in this thing? You know? So they were like, they were appalled. They were like, dude, you gotta be, they fucking about face and fucking walked away. No one talked to me again. They're like, shove that fucking plaque up your ass. I gave the plaque to Rob Nolly, by the way. He still has it because he's a car dude. He showed it to us when he was on when he was on here. He showed us the plaque. But anyway, I had that same experience. I went to an old school bike show back in, I guess, 2006 or 7. And these dudes are rolling up with these brand new candy apple red Hutch Trick Stars. Like the same thing you would see Domingo 2006, 2007.
Oh my God.
So these dudes are rolling up and they got like, you know, they got nice cars. They're all like looking good. And they get their bike out of the car and they carry it to where they're going. They put a towel on the ground. They put the bike down. Now I'm new to this whole scene. And I'm like, dude, where'd you get this bike from? And the guy's like, oh, I did this, a couple of these, couple of there. I got a bed. And I was like, dude, when I saw, the first time I ever saw one of these, Carl Roth showed up at this contest and I was blown away. And then, and then Rick Moliterno had one, and to see Moliterno and Carl Roth, and I started talking to the guy, and as I was telling some bullshit, I realized he didn't know who Carl Roth and Rick Moliterno were.
Oh,
and I go, wait a minute.
Dude.
I go, you don't remember like when Carl went from Hutch to Mongoose? And he's like, huh? I'm thinking everybody at this at the show was
that they love the culture.
like me.
Right.
I thought they were all these. Yeah. And these dudes, they were like maybe like 10 years younger than me, which I, back then, like I'm just couldn't like figure it out, whatever. And they had, and I'm like, well, who, like, I'm like trying to find out like where they're from and who they rode with back in the day.
Right.
And the guy goes,
right.
I didn't, he goes, like, basically what I found out was like 94% of the dudes that were there with these bikes had never even picked up a freestyle bike. They just got involved in it because they liked mechanics and they liked building shit and they liked the way the bikes looked. So what they would do is they would get a photo from the magazines of what the bikes look like, because like these dudes would be like, oh, I just built up this 89 GT fucking bash guard bike. And I'm like, nobody had their brakes set up like that. Nobody had these kind of pedals.
Right.
Nobody had a seat like, and they're like, no, this is exactly the way it was. And I'm like, it wasn't. And I got in like these arguments with these dudes.
Yeah.
Then I asked to like check out one of the dude's bikes. The brakes didn't work. The things were all finger tight, and I let the dude have it. I'm just like, what, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, if you can't get on that bike and go to a fucking wall ride, get the fuck out of here.
Fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here.
That's seriously what I did. And the one dude like got his shit and fucking packed up and left. And I didn't realize it. Like a year later, one of my friends was like, yeah, last year when you let that dude fucking have it, he like took his shit out of here and he's never come back because you were fucking letting him. I'm like, I wasn't letting him have it. I was just letting my emotions pour out, meaning these fuckers were frauds. But it was the same way as the fucking when I had my GTO.
You were one of
I
the
was a
guys.
fucking straight. I was a straight fucking poser when I showed up with my GTO. Straight poser, and these dudes were fucking worse. These guys were like, they were infiltrating my sport, dude. They were showing up with these bikes, and I was like, holy shit, this is so awesome. And then when I realized they were just fucking, and like I don't fault them for wanting to be involved in it and do it. Like I understand
because
that
it's
part,
awesome.
but it was 100% my bad that I was upset by it. It has nothing to do with them. Like I'm not mad at them at all. I was just mad at them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at them. I was just fucking mad at them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea here is that Factor Freestyle will issue a certification, like a good housekeeping seal of approval.
Yeah.
For vintage bike dealers, so that we can weed out the difference between these dudes who like polish stuff up and build them wrong and run a straight brake cable with a gyro, and just get all that shit taken care of, because there's people who are paying really good money for this stuff, and you want it to come from someone who cares about it. And so I figured that if we put every one of these dealers through the meat grinder and they pass the Ray test, they could get a premium for that bike because they'll know that it's coming from an authentic source.
I like it's been Ray tested and approved.
Ray tested and approved.
Certified.
Certified by the doesn't have to be that big of a standard then. It should be pretty easy to get certified then. You just need to have you basically just have to have an all original bike with a Rockville or Homeboy sticker on it and they're set.
Ray, you have to
I just want to see the rejects.
Ray's questions like, hey, do you know John Huddleston? What tricks did he do? Okay, you're in.
Yeah.
Good.
You're in. Well, like I saw a while back somebody posted something on like BMX Museum. I don't know how long ago it was, and they had like the DK stem that had the standing platform on it. There was like the DK stem that had like the two little things on it. Basically looked like it had three stems on the bike. So Gary was sponsored by DK, and every other month when Gary would get the CW Care package, which was like the greatest thing in the world, we could do a whole show on when Gary would get the bike box every other month, and we would just pick through it. It was the greatest thing in the world.
That's an unboxing I would love to watch.
Oh yeah, dude, it'd be tubes and tires and like wheels and forks and bars, and we're just like, look at all this shit. But anyway, so every time he'd get like 10 pairs of grips and 3 of those DK stems. And we'd get those DK stems and just throw them out because you couldn't do anything with them. They were too heavy. They were these, and like we would literally like throw them out. Gary had like 10 of them stacked in his garage, and we just throw them out. So that's why in my brain, when I see a guy post one and he's like, "This is $744 shipped," and I'm like, "Dude, we used to throw those. We used to throw those things at animals in Gary's backyard because they're just so junky." Like, and that, you know, it's like, here comes the gopher, grab one of those stems, and we'd throw the DK stem at the gopher because it was big, heavy, and gross, and we knew we didn't need it.
Seems like you,
and this guy
threw out a lot of stuff in BMX. Like I remember you talked about the dumpster that you used to throw CW. Threw a lot of stuff out.
I had a whole story with when I did Mike Rotola's thing where I threw out 500 boom boxes. You guys know that story, of course.
No, I don't remember that one. What's that one? What's that one?
Where have you guys been? Don't you guys watch stuff on the interweb?
Ray, you have so many great stories. Please share.
The short version. The short version is I worked in an appliance store in the late 80s, and they purchased 500 boom boxes to sell after the boombox craze, but they had got them really cheap. So they had 500. No, it was a place called CNC Appliance in Philadelphia.
I remember that.
And so they had 500 boom boxes, and they're like, "We're going to sell them for $300 a piece." Then they knocked it down to 100. Then they knocked it down to 50. Then they were like, "Anyone that buys anything over $200 gets a boom box." The first day they did that, they gave away 7 boom boxes for free. And when I left that night, they said, "Hey, Ray, before you leave, can you clean up the parking lot? There's 5 boom boxes." People left them outside. They didn't want to put them in their car. So we had 495 boom boxes. The video or the picture of me doing that thing where the wheels tacoed. The thing, like you always see that thing. Well, in the background, one of the radios is there. I took 2 of the radios. I gave one to Gary, and I took one to my house. The others, they got a dumpster, and I threw them out. I just got them like on a Sunday. They're like, "Hey, get those boom boxes and just throw them out. Neatly stack them in the dumpster." And so on eBay, they were selling them like. They're like, "Oh, here's the boom box. It's in mint condition," and it was like $500, $600. And I'm like, I threw out 500 of those in the box back in 1989 or 1988. So I got like tons of stories like that, you know.
Oh my God!
But the only one worse than that is when I went. What's that?
I think we could do a dumpster tour where you just go around to dumpsters and you say, "This dumpster, I threw out X amount of CW frames. This one I threw X amount of DJ or DK stems."
Nothing lasts forever.
Dave just proposed a dumpster tour. Now, Dave, would the dumpster be on fire in this tour?
Yeah.
Oh.
Beginning of the end.
So, got an idea for the Haro tour, Dave.
Oh, that thing's still going on?
Todd found some kids who raised $260,000 in 2 weeks for their school janitor.
For the tour?
Well, for their school janitor.
Hold on,
let me hear how excited he was.
And so
run real quick.
Okay. We need you to get a job as a janitor and tell all the kids your sob story. And one of those kids will raise $260,000 to get you on tour, because Ray and I are not inspiring enough people to throw enough money at you. We figure that if we get some kids, they're like, "Wow, listen to his story."
That's what I wondered, is like, what are we doing wrong that kids that literally are like 15, 16-year-old kids raise $200,000 in a couple of weeks? How is that possible?
I got it figured out, Joe. I have it figured out how they can get the money for the tour. Everybody likes a sad story, like like when they have dogs and they're like, nobody will adopt these dogs, but if they amputate one leg, everyone will, I want the 3-legged dog. So we have to make the horror tour the 3-legged dog. So we got to get a story. We need someone to write up, and it's all true stuff. You got these
Stoney can do this.
3 men. Yeah, we'll get Stoney to do it. You got 3 guys that are pushing 60. They want to relive their youth, but they just can't do it. One guy's building a tomato barn. Who knows what Wilkerson's doing? And Blyther just had a successful career as a Los Angeles police officer, and now the next thing they want to do. These guys have devoted their lives to their families and craft, and now we want to drum up a bunch of money so we can send these guys on their farewell tour. And it doesn't have to be the end, because Ozzy's had like 19 farewell tours. You can just call it the farewell tour.
Farewell, yeah. Farewell
So
number 1.
You gotta make it.
2.
You gotta make one of these guys have a sob story, and I'm sure we can find one if we just go over Dave lightly. We can find some type of sob story where we can find out something wrong with them that little kids would want to send some money.
One of the funniest things, Ray, on that note, was we ran into, at the contest in Texas, we ran into Joel Shelley.
Alamo.
Different Joel. Shellio or Shelliot, Joe? I'm not sure how the correct pronunciation. Dave may know. But he was Ron's tour manager for a while.
Oh, Josh.
Josh, Josh.
Sorry, not Joel, Josh. And he shared some great Wilkerson stuff that was just fantastic. Like,
tell your favorite.
My favorite one is, and Ray will really like this one, is his first day. He flew to San Jose to take this job as the tour manager, Ray. It was like a 3-month tour, and he was leaving in a couple of days. So he had everything. He had his bike. He had all of his luggage, all of his clothes, everything that he would need for the tour. And he gets to the
Wilkerson Airlines.
It was two hip, or maybe
right. Okay, yes, 2 hip. No, 2 hips, right? That's right. Same thing.
So he shows up at the airport, and Ron picks him up on his motorcycle.
That's totally a Ron Wilkerson thing.
So he's like looking at Ron, and Ron doesn't see any kind of problem with this. So he said, I'm like, both arms are full. I got like stuff stacked, and Ron's like going over these mountains. He's on the back of Ron's bike. And he's like, I should have known right there.
Being on the back of his bike alone without carrying stuff is sketchy.
Yeah.
And what was he carrying? Tell us again slowly what he was carrying with him.
All his clothes for 3 months, his bike.
Which was in a box or a bike bag? Which is in
a box, yeah. I mean, can you imagine trying to maneuver all of this? It's amazing. And he was like, dude, I should have known it was going to be an adventure just from the pickup from the airport. He's got millions of those stories, Ray. It was so.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Imagine me going, Ron, pick me up. And if I had a backpack, I wouldn't be able to get on the back of that bike. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hey, I'll walk.
Yeah.
When you are on tour, your crew must roll with you. Like you cannot have any soft people in the crew.
Joe and I were like, Joe and I were talking. We're like, Ron's a genius. Because I mean, I don't think that was like happenstance. I think Ron's like, hey, this is what's going to happen on tour.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You adjust. How are you going to handle this? We're like, yeah, he was just preparing him for tour. It's a genius.
That was the test. Yeah, that was the test. Yeah,
that was the test.
So my thinking was, Ron was super famous. this was the way Ron avoided having any starfuckers in his midst, because no one would put up with that shit. And I was like, wow, dude, that's the way to find friends. That's the way to find the crew.
Yeah. You're vetting the crew for sure.
Yep.
I would never be a part of that crew. I would never be on tour with anybody then.
Well, I think it's different for you.
When I was a kid, it's different. You know what I mean? When you're 20 and somebody says, "Hey, you want to go somewhere?" You're like, "Yeah." You don't ask who's going, how we're getting there, what we're doing, or when we're coming home. When you're 20,
right
now, if I'm gonna go to Warren's house, it's 8 houses away. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I don't know who's going.
Well, that's different. Let me draw a very subtle distinction. You and Ron can go on tour right now today because you are not trying to suck off the famous teat of Ron Wilkerson. Like, you're not. Like, you want to go have fun. Completely different. But you're like, no, I like my life.
You couldn't get me to go on
sleep
any
on the
tour
ground
right now. There is no tour.
I get it. On. But that's because you find it inconvenient. Like, you have the relationship with these folks. You're not like,
no, I'm just talking about in general. I'm not talking about relationships with anybody. I'm talking about right now. If somebody's like, "Hey, Ray, we need you to go on tour. Like, we need you to get in a van with a bunch of people and drive around."
Dude.
Even with today's technology and whatever, like
Dennis McCoy calls you up, "Ray, we need you to go on tour." You'd be like, "Nope."
Dennis? No way.
Wait a second,
No
Todd.
way. I love Dennis. I'll do anything with Dennis, but I
so you might go with Dennis. You might go.
Let's raise the stakes, Todd. Let's find out what Ray's line is.
I'll go.
Yes.
I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Mike Daly says, "Ray, fly out here and we will drive back to York, Pennsylvania, and I will write a buddy road story. You and Mike Daly."
No, I ain't going nowhere. Mike Daly. Mike Daly's nuts. Mike Daly. Oh,
Spike Jones invites you.
Oh yes.
Oh
yeah. Oh, if Spike told me we were going to a hanging, I'd be like, "All right, let's go, man." Even if it was me getting hung.
Well, there we go. Now we know.
I have so much stuff. I have so much stuff I got to talk to Spike about when we were kids, because I have a feeling he remembers all the shit and it just doesn't interest him. It interests me, but I just have a feeling it doesn't interest him. I don't think he wants to revisit his youth in King of Prussia. And I would love to, because I remember so much shit. I would love to have a sit down with Spike.
Didn't he get you a second Star Wars land speeder because he was like a day late for your birthday party or something?
I had 3 of them. I had 3.
No.
And in 1980, it was after high school. My dad was cleaning out the attic, and I had the 2 land speeders, and I think I even had the birthday card that came with it. Can you imagine that? Wow. Like the birthday card, like "Happy Birthday, Adam," and the land speeder, and we took it out of the package, looked at it, and we just threw it out. What the hell are we gonna do with this? It was 1987. I could have kept the card. I should have kept the card or whatever, the note, whatever the fuck was in it.
Yeah.
That kind of shit I love stories like that, but it just didn't. Spike don't want to talk about it. Where is Spike? Get Spike on the phone. Cold call Spike right now. What's he doing? Waxing his surfboard in Malibu? Get him the fuck on the phone. He ain't doing shit. There ain't a new Jackass coming out. He hasn't had a movie out in 5 years. Get him on the phone right now. For Christ's sake. What the fuck is he doing?
So, Dave, what are you up to right now?
Bike riding. I like doing tricks.
Bike riding? You had a sawzall out. What were you sawzalling? Fucking apples off the tree? What the fuck's going on over there?
Dave, you left your Wi-Fi coverage.
It appears so.
How many of those fucking structures does he have there? Those fucking World War II fucking that's what those things are. They're those World War II. Google it. They're from World War II. They're
Victory Gardens.
Fucking, no,
Dave,
they're
the
you
nice
want to
thing,
go out barracks.
the nice thing about the greenhouse is that I bet the temperature control in there is like awesome.
Yep.
Because it's
We
got
got the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got the shade cover, so when it's really hot, we just cover it. And when we need to, hold on 1 second.
You don't
Do you
even
have
need a
any
hot tub like Joe.
Credit?
Exactly.
Joe, there's
I
no
definitely
need
need
for
a hot tub
out there.
Where would I find it?
No.
Can we get video of you someday entering and leaving the hot tub and have Stoney comment?
Which one?
You will see my painted toenails, which I think would be amazing.
Painted toenails, and then you have probably like a silk robe.
No.
Probably got a Speedo with a sweet potato in the front of it, so it looks good. You're like, yeah, what's up?
No, I have like board shorts. Nothing special.
Ugh. Why do you paint your toenails?
It's cool. I mean, I did it when we went on vacation because we went on beach vacation.
We don't.
It's been a
Don't bring
while.
up. You don't need to give us that kind of information. It doesn't do well with me because I'll just use it for stuff that you don't like. Fucking painted toenails. Even Todd's disgusted. Look at that. Todd's like fucking Joe. Fucking Joe and his painted fucking toenails.
I'm not disgusted. In fact, I'm thinking about, in my head, okay, so Ray would say yes to Spike, maybe to Dennis, no to Mike Daly. I'm just thinking about the list of people that you would go on tour with. So.
What about Gary? Would you go on tour with Gary?
Gary Pollock?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go anywhere with Gary Pollock because he's the most prepared. He's the most prepared human in the history of the earth. Like if they were like, "Hey, we have to go to the moon. Art needs somebody to go to the moon." I would say hire Gary Pollock because he'll figure out what you need and he'll get you there and back no matter what. Hire fucking Gary Pollock.
So
he'll have a number. He'll know a guy. He'll figure it out.
I think we should. I was encouraging Gary to go to the AFA and to do the old school class and then start like crushing old school. And then after every time he does it, we stick a phone in his face on the podium and he calls out the next guy to take on, and he just goes down the list calling out old school guys and
Gary
competing against them aggressively. Like
Gary he's he's an incredible bike rider.
I think if Gary practiced for a month, Flatland, he could probably do all his tricks.
Yeah,
he banged out that fire hydrant to cherry picker. That's a goddamn hard. How many people today, right now, can do a fire hydrant to cherry picker? If you had to guess.
Are
there a lot of people right now that can do it?
Why don't we have a contest of who has the best fire hydrant cherry picker? And Dave, can you get Cool Stop?
That would be a great Cool Stop contest.
Yeah. To do what, Joe?
Send us the best video of them today doing fire hydrant to cherry picker.
Wait, ask the question again. I thought you said Cool Stop. What about Cool Stop?
Yeah, they would be sponsored.
Jesus. Okay. So there's a contest and a sponsor. The contest is the best fire hydrant to cherry picker. One trick, whoever does it the best. Okay.
I got it.
The contest then is sponsored by Cool Stop. My question for you, Dave, is can you get us a care package prize pack from Cool Stop to do this contest?
Sure.
Cool.
I think that would be awesome.
Hey, Anthony, can you do a fire hydrant to cherry picker?
No,
Do you know people who
I'm
can?
too mid. I'm sure Andy would try.
Can you ask people to? Can you help us get entries?
Try. I can ask my friend group.
Dave can do it.
Yeah, Dave, can you help?
Yeah.
You know what would be helpful is maybe we post it in a couple of the old school groups.
Mhm.
It might even be helpful to get some folks who that don't have breaks anymore, but you could still do that kind of without breaks. I'm thinking of what's his name in Missouri that does a lot of, he's brakeless, but he does a lot of old school tricks. Great writer, shoot, what's his name? Does rollades really, really well. Larry, what was his name? Anyway, those guys in Missouri would be great for this. Matt Clark.
I can reach out to Tim.
Yeah, Chicago guys.
Yeah, Blood.
What's the deadline we should set?
When's Gary's birthday?
Yeah, when's Gary's birthday?
That's a good question.
August 29th,
No, we got to do it sooner.
28th or 29th.
When's
How
his half
about
birthday?
March? How about March 25th?
Yeah.
What about March 4th?
That's a month. Yeah.
March
4th is too soon.
What about March 18th?
20. Yeah.
That month is good.
Do you know Gary Pollock has a twin sister? You guys know that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. He has a twin sister,
I
Kim.
had no idea. Wow.
And we watched her do a drop-in on Gary's quarter pipe when we were kids because she said she could do anything that he could do. And we're like, you can't do a drop-in. She goes, yeah, I can. And she was right to her face.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Ray, don't laugh.
Ugly. Oh, you can laugh now. She's fine. She's fine. She loved the helicopter ride to the hospital. No, she was fine. She got up. She's from the streets, man. She got up and brushed it off and went inside.
I'm trying to cut that
She was
cable.
fine.
They go across.
Dave,
I think Dave's ordering
looks
a
like
Marco's pizza.
Yeah, Dave, if you scan around there, if you scan the property, it kind of looks like the Branch Davidian compound. I'm waiting for David Koresh to come out with a guitar and one of his 18 wives.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Are you familiar with the Branch Davidian compound? Never mind.
No.
That's all right.
Well, I think that would be a lot of fun. The contest, the fire hydrant to cherry picker. I'm thinking, Nitschke could do it on cue. Steve Mulder could probably do it brakeless as well.
I think Rob Nolly can probably do it.
Yeah, John Dowker. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna announce it. I asked Cool Stop, but I think we'll. Oh, geez, I can't post it because my account shut down.
What?
Well,
Joe kicked
Dave.
himself off the interweb for doing his nonsense, for overposting.
No,
Someone
you know what it
finally
was?
caught on to it.
I unfollowed when I got back from the Jam Circle. I unfollowed 800 Instagram accounts that were just those how it's made, those factory things, or people in machine shops forging stuff. And I'm like, enough. It's BMX or GTFO. And I just started unfollowing stuff. And then it was like, hold on, you're unfollowing too much. And I kept doing it. And then they're like, we're putting you in timeout. Then I was like, none of the likes worked. And then comments didn't work. And then posts didn't work. And it just shut down. It was like, stop until March 1st. But the thing was, I was getting like the craziest set of ads. I was getting like 10 consecutive ads, or like advertisements or suggestions. And they're like, oh yeah, you're caught up with the rest of your friends. And I'm like, no, I am not. Like,
I haven't seen any of there.
I haven't seen any of them. You are just feeding me like 20 ads.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Which account?
Oh, well, it had been affecting all of the accounts that I control, including factOrFreestyle, but I was just able to post on factOrFreestyle. So
oh my gosh, Joe.
we're better now. Hey, it was very freaky for me.
I imagine.
But anyway, I posted the contest, so we're going to do the contest. All right, so Dave, you should definitely. When are you filming again, Dave? Like, can we get a fire hydrant to cherry picker that you don't destroy yourself on?
Yeah, I can only do it on an older bike, which I broke the stem bolt. But I have a film. Let's see, from 2 weeks ago, I have a clip I can send you.
Oh, awesome! If you've already got one in the can, then that's perfect.
Yeah, and it's recent. It's current.
Okay, Dave. So raise away. You can tell us your favorite part of the jam circle.
Oh, I liked everything about it. It was just a good overall event. The crowd was good. I liked that it was exposing new people to Flatland. Yeah, I think I wouldn't really change anything. Obviously, maybe more riding time, like people have said. But I think they did a fabulous job pulling everything. I know it's a big job to pull everything off and make it smooth, and it seemed like it went really, really well. And a good turnout. I mean, the riding was amazing, even though we had to watch some of it from the back of an Uber, but it's still, the excitement was there, even in the back of the Uber, sitting behind a train that was like 2 miles long. That was classic.
What was your favorite? So tell us about what you did with crowd participation.
Crowd participation?
There was someone from the crowd who participated in your run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there was the guy, I can't think of his name. I think it was Isaac, the guy that got first place in beginner's class.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter was just this really cool little girl who was just had this amazing bike. And you could just see that sparkle in her eye. And I said, hey, will you help me out? I would like you to come up and while I do a handstand, just come out on the floor and shake my hand. And she was like thrilled to do it. So I did a Nourie stand or Palacio handstand, and she came out and I asked her specifically to jump in the air at the same time so that when she's shaking my hand, her feet were off the ground, but she didn't do that part. She must have forgot. So technically, I don't know. I guess the jury's still not out on that, but I'm not sure if we can call it a no-touch run.
Yeah, there has been some discussion about that as soon as someone else touches your bike, then their feet count as well.
Yeah. I'm okay with that though, because I feel like it was worth it for that
sneaky touch.
Yeah, the girls' experience was definitely worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Who told you about this, Dave? Where did you come up with this idea that what made you say that it was a touch by proxy?
Well, I'm sure I watched factOrFreestyle. Wasn't it? Wasn't it factOrFreestyle episode?
But when did that come up? Who told you about that?
I think it was you, Joe.
What was it?
Yeah.
Because someone told me, they're like, I don't think Dave did a no-touch run because he had someone
Yeah, you
assist.
I think it was on a phone call, Joe. I think we were talking to Dave at the airport, and I think you mentioned it to him. I think.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
but you, Joe, you said that you heard it from somebody else. You heard it from, who was it? Was it Scott Powell? No, it was
Joe.
it was Pete Brandt. It's Pete Brandt.
Right?
I don't remember.
He had to have told you too.
No, he didn't. He didn't mention it to me.
He said, "Don't tell Joe I told you."
Oh, he did. I swear. I swear. He
Hanging
had
out with
said
Pete
nothing.
was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
How about
Ray's
that?
back.
Hey, Ray.
Did you guys ever hear the famous thing where Kevin Jones can find a crack on anybody's bike? It's the truth. Like if you've had a bike for 6 months, he can find a crack on it. And I think if I watch Dave's flawless run that he just had, I bet I can find some type of touch. That's why I want to see it. That's why I think it's a little sneaky that no one's posted it. And
Joe,
there's
I
a lot
shared it
of
with you on
boasting
Google.
about his run, and
It is
I
a
feel
little
bad because he wanted to call me and
So
talk
who's
about it,
posting
but I
about-
haven't seen it.
It's a little mysterious that it got lost. It's a little mysterious why it got lost. Like
Dave,
when the
you've
other-
had a
looked
lot
everywhere.
of runs. You've had a lot of runs in your life, and you've never called me to tell me about one of them. And now this one, you didn't touch. You wanted to
wait
call
a
me
minute.
and tell me.
Right.
And then, but
Specifically, why
but
would I
now
want
it
to
doesn't
call and tell
exist
you?
on.
Why
You
would I
were going
want
to
to call and
call
tell you?
me.
Because why? Why? Answer that question.
You were so stoked.
Why? And because you've been my coach. Wasn't a good athlete going to call the coach and say, "Hey, coach"?
I know.
And a good coach is going to say, "No, son, you did not. That's close. It was a good attempt. Good job.
If
good
I'm your
effort."
coach,
And-
listen.
Yeah,
If
all
I'm
right.
your coach, you should show. Is this it?
This
Is
is
this the
it.
run?
Oh my goodness, Ray.
Oh my God! Is that the first
This
trick?
is my first run or my second?
This is your second.
Okay. God damn it.
It's such good
This
footy.
is where he loves to put a foot down right here, but he didn't. Okay.
Yeah, Dave. Way to go.
He's got the eye of the tiger.
Yeah.
He was seriously.
Tell he's just on. Yeah.
When people see like Dave Nourie do a contest run, you have to look at the look on his face. He loves this.
He's eyeing up that kid
he's
right now.
queuing. He's queuing me.
Yeah, I was hoping she'd come right out.
Did she give you a kiss?
Oh, there's the bow.
Did he touch on that?
When
No.
they,
Distraction keeps you from viewing the touch.
Damn it.
yeah, we met that dude at breakfast the next day. It was fun talking to him.
Oh, a whole spot just went away. And we just missed 30 seconds of video there. He went
What
from
are you
rolling
talking about?
backwards to that. This is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy.
This is
It's all choppy. This does not count.
Dave, I would like to count the number of tricks that you did during your run.
This would never hold up in court, dude. Are
I
you
think-
kidding me? Look at this.
It's a
Look,
lot.
it goes right to him riding.
yeah, I think
We have
Ray.
a high trick count.
Ray, I think
Yeah, I do
your
like to do that.
internet's.
Yeah.
It was not a hop hop. Oh, he's asking
No.
for a hop hop.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, did you touch? No.
Nope.
So wait, you're doing the same trick twice now?
Oh,
wait, there you go.
Oh, his elbow.
Wait, you gotta back that up, Joe.
Oh, yeah, he touched.
Oh, fuck, Dave.
Yeah, you touched.
There you go. Oh, shit.
I'll take it. If I touch my elbow, that's like,
Hold on.
Yeah, it's right on the
Todd
ground.
can tell a story about.
Oh, man.
Terry.
Scratch that run. No good.
no, I don't think so.
Oh, my God. You touched. And the hat touch. Two things.
Maybe
The only
it's
thing
just
allowed is the bite.
Hold on.
it might
You
just
gotta-
be
you gotta-
it might just be
You
a
got a
swipe.
screenshot.
Hold on.
Well, yeah, that's still
Oh,
counts,
there.
Todd.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's on.
You gotta-
It's on the ground.
Oh,
You gotta
elbow's
screenshot it
ground.
and blow it up. Screenshot and blow it up. That's the only way you're gonna be able to tell.
All
really.
right.
I can't
'Cause I
tell.
would've-
It might be clean. I can't tell.
Let's watch it again.
Well,
Oh.
I'm thinking that maybe I didn't even feel it, like the adrenaline. I was so
Yeah.
excited, I just didn't even feel it. So
Yeah.
The arm hair stuff.
Oh yeah.
hey,
Actually,
at
you
least
know
it's-
what? You know what? It's not a touch because if you're a judge, you're not gonna count that as a touch.
No.
So I think you're
We'll count
okay.
this part right there.
But after watching this run, I did find out one thing about Dave.
You did a
He
He's
great.
such a
learned
good
new tricks
showman.
since-
Look at that.
He hasn't learned a trick since 1989.
Well, we all struggle with that, Ray. We
Yeah.
all struggle with that.
welcome
But,
to freestyle.
that was a
Flatland
great-
specifically.
That was a great run, Dave. I love
Yeah.
the fact that you do so many tricks in the allotted time
Yep.
because your style
Joe.
really allows for that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Joe,
Yeah, thank you.
has Todd ever picked on anybody? He doesn't pick on anybody, does he?
Yeah.
Like
he
Todd's
does.
never just like does he really?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like he'd never just like be
Definitely.
mean and say something like to rough
Well-
somebody up.
Well, he does. So he doesn't do it to be mean, but he will make very honest observations when someone is being hypocritical.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, okay.
And it's spectacular because he has an incredible eye and he's a very good communicator, and he crafts his zingers the way he crafts his tutorials. That's just it's immaculate. I know that he takes an hour to knock these
Has
things
he ever made a joke about Dave? Like he's never just like
Well,
said something like to pick on Dave.
Yeah,
like that,
well,
right?
Yeah, he has.
I don't think I've never seen it.
It's mostly
On the show.
it's mostly if Dave were to, okay, so like Dave was hashtagging the jam circle, but he like for 3 days he kept calling it the circle jam, and so I be
Oh, I still call it the circle jam.
Yeah, several of us have. Yeah,
when you hear it, it sticks.
yeah.
But it's just stuff like that.
Yeah, and on the show, I think there's been times, Joe, where I was like, Todd, I thought you were on my side. Like he kind of joins in the hackling, and I was surprised. I'm like, whoa.
The hackling.
Todd's ribbing is always good natured, and like when Todd calls me out on stuff, it's the funniest thing like ever.
The important part is you have to be able to recognize when I have to be able to recognize when I deserve a good ribbing as well. And there are times that there are certainly times that I do. Like for example, I went through this phase about maybe a year to 2 years ago where I wanted to get my bike like as light as possible. So I would go through and drill holes in like the bottom of the seat post and the rims, and like I drilled holes in the top of the seat. And if you really think about that, the amount of plastic that you're getting rid of is so, I mean, it is
Minute.
absolutely so small that you would never in a million years even feel that. And it's just kind of one of those stupid things that I went through, and I did all kinds of little things like that. And I feel like I need to laugh at myself for being so oversensitive to bike weight.
Wait, did someone call you out on it, Todd?
Oh, many times people have laughed at my seat and the visible things like the rims. They look, actually my rims used to look like, Dave, I don't know if you remember, but the old,
I do. Yeah.
The old Mongoose rims that had the holes in them, like the
Yep, I remember.
California,
yeah,
Mongoose California.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then they had the anodized bands that would go in there. You could change out the colors.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that for sure.
My rims looked like that without any band.
I didn't know that you drilled your rims.
I did.
That's incredible.
It was dumb, but yeah, I deserved a good many good ribbings for that. But yeah,
I want to have some coaching from my coach, because I've done this contest now. There's a contest coming up in April, and obviously Ray, you're emphasizing that.
I think you got to bust out. I think you have to either start or end your routine with a brand new trick.
Okay.
I mean, for the amount of riding you do, I just think maybe you should incorporate a trick that you've never, like, just work on it. If you work on a trick and you do a new trick, not only will it look good in your routine, it'll also build your confidence that you're progressing. Is that a word, Joe? Progressing? Is that a big word? That's a big word,
yes,
right?
it is. It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
I think it'll do a lot for your morale. It'll be like, wow, I got this new trick.
Yeah, then different than like,
because now you got the potato barn to practice in. You have so much more time now.
I'm like 3 days away.
If you could just put that ladder down and grab your bike and try a trick,
Well, I'm riding today too. It's nice out today, so I'm going to ride. But so as opposed to taking an old trick and bringing it back, because that's also something I've been working on. There's a lot of tricks. That's
not what I said. That's not what I said.
I'm just saying. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, I think that on your way to learning a brand new trick, Dave, you should build some confidence by relearning, but give yourself like 2 or 3 relearn tricks only, and then pick a trick that you have to learn anew.
I have an idea.
Yeah. That's it.
When I saw you do that Gumby live, I realized, I'm like, Dave has got to be incredibly strong and flexible to do that Gumby. Yep. How about just a forward, like, rubber or bar ride? Because like the hardest part of that is getting up into it these days. When people are all fat and out of shape, you're still totally fit and you got the balance. I mean, dude, if I saw Dave do a goddamn bar ride or rubber ride,
I want to make sure
people would go nuts.
Okay, so I'm glad that we're talking about this. So not a new trick, not a brand new trick that I create. I can do a brand new trick that's just to me. Oh, okay. Oh, that's
right. Yeah. Not like invent a trick. I'm saying if you never did have you ever done a rubber ride in your life, or a bar ride?
I have. Yeah, I have. And it's actually really hard to get up there.
Okay.
I mean, I am flexible, but it would take me some time. I'll work on it.
Okay. No, all right. I was just saying, incorporate something into your run that is different. Like it seems like you've been doing the same run forever. And maybe I just pick up on it because I'm more of an old school dude. Like when Joe and Todd do that front wheel nonsense in a circle, it all looks the same to me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like
all front wheel nonsense looks the same.
Yeah, they just go around in that Huddleston circle and they just switch it up a little bit. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's great advice. I appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah. Joe's laughing, but he knows like 80% of your run is hands off and front wheel, right? That's like 80% of your tricks.
Oh,
Spinning
me?
around on your front wheel.
Well, Joe,
yeah, and
Joe
your
did the
hands
same
Oh,
trick
yeah.
over and over. Joe
Oh,
did the
yeah.
same trick over and over.
Right.
I did the hardest trick ever done over and over and over. I went for the hardest trick ever over and over and over.
No, I've seen the hardest trick ever done and completed, and that was that Huck dude doing that fucking bar ride through the fucking skate park, going in and out of the bowls.
That was
That's
insane.
not the
That's some
hardest
shit right there.
That's not the hardest thing ever, though.
Oh, okay, who's lining up to fucking do a bar ride through a skate park in bowls?
That's insane. It's
Who's
insane.
lining up to do that, Todd? Name
I don't
one
think-
other guy that's doing that. Go ahead.
I don't know anyone else that does bar rides like Hucker. No, that's for sure. But I don't think it's the
Then
hardest.
It's the hardest guy it's the hardest trick.
I don't
It's
think
the hardest because no, it is. It's the hardest trick because okay, Flatland doesn't count as the hardest trick ever because if you fall in Flatland, you're probably not going to kill yourself. If you're on your if you're doing a fucking bar ride and you go down into a fucking 5-foot bowl, you could die. It's the hardest trick, Todd.
I don't think that death is on the table.
broken bone,
I don't think
broken bone
especially-
probably. Broken bone for sure.
You can get, if you wipe,
Apparently, you haven't heard about a few of the people that have passed away while riding a bicycle. Oh, you could die.
Yeah,
on a bar
there's people
ride?
that
Oh, yeah. When we're not on here, Joe, I'll tell you about.
oh, I didn't know that this was a thing. Okay.
Oh yeah. There was a something that happened a while back where somebody expired that fell off just something very small.
Oh, okay. Then we don't have to talk about
Yeah.
it.
No.
my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it's right.
All
Todd,
right,
it's not
so-
the hardest trick in the world. It just takes balls. That's what I'm getting at. I'm just roughing you up.
It does for sure. I mean, to have that kind of control is insane. And I don't take anything away from Hucker at all. The way he does those, and he probably did it in a couple of takes, I'm guessing as well. Like he just has that much control. And I've seen him do them in really gnarly spots before. So he can do them. He's got them super dialed, no question. But
yeah.
And it is a trick that translates to everyone as well. So like
Yep.
you don't have to know about front wheel hands off tricks to know that to appreciate it.
I was hoping he was going to say nonsense. I thought he was going to make me giggle and say hands off front wheel nonsense. What do you
Hands
do?
off front wheel nonsense.
But
I want to get that tattooed.
But yeah, it translates very well. Everyone gets how it's very it's a great show trick too. So
Oh my gosh.
Dave's all about a show trick.
I remember Blyther doing them, Dave.
Yeah.
Blyther used to do them in
Blyther.
shows. Yeah.
yeah, he had him down. He was
Front and back. And Wilkerson used to do backwards too.
Yep.
I'm wondering if I should do backwards because I feel like it's a little easier. Joe, what
And
do you
Really?
Bob-
You do?
And Bob, do you remember when Bob Cole used to do them during vert contest?
Yep.
The King of Vert. He'd
Yep.
pop out, do a bar ride, and jump back in.
I that was so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
On vert?
Dave,
Yep.
he would do it across the top of the half pipe.
Oh my God.
I
Hey,
watched that live back in the day.
Dave, I think if you have your levers, like sometimes people have their levers down. If you have your levers kind of out, that really helps a lot with backwards bar rides.
Yeah, I don't want to do that though. I lose so many tricks that way. It would be hard to do every other trick.
Yep, I understand. That.
I could do the Martinet Perillo, where you put it on the
the bar.
and then stand in the crossbar, but that's harder.
It is.
Than on the
crossbar's
grip.
harder.
Yeah, the actual bar is harder, I think.
All right, so we've covered an awful lot of ground. So we're going to do collector certification and issue serial numbers. And so it can be authenticated by Ray.
Ray 001, Ray 002.
I don't know if people are going to want to be involved in this though.
Well,
yeah, we got to give them an
only the
incentive
strong.
more than cool stuff. You have to give more than just a cool stuff incentive, I think.
Who's going to
Which-
want to present their bike to me just to have me pick it apart in case there's something wrong with it?
A winner.
Because there's also the part where they'll be like, well, what gives Ray the certification to know if this bike's done properly? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a bike expert. You know, what
you
I mean?
can
I just know what
defend
I
it.
saw back in the day.
Exactly. That's the Ray
We
certified.
could give it a
Well, like,
yeah, we give it an option.
Here-
Like, if you want to take your bike to
So-
the next level, here's an opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
It's
so-
like
so
Antique
Todd-
Roadshow, but it's ball busting.
Yeah. Yeah. So Todd and Dave, back in the '80s, Todd, what's the first contest you went to, like AFA contest? Were you at that first Ohio contest?
I was, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you go back as far as I do then. When you were at like that contest, did you see anybody on a VDC freestyle bike?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Did you see, other than maybe Greg Maycumber once, did you see anybody on a MCS freestyle bike?
Just the guy from Florida, Steve Swope.
Yep.
That's who I meant. I said Maycumber, but yeah, Steve Swope. Okay.
Yep, that's
You
the
saw,
only
okay,
guy.
so that's like one bike.
Yep.
So there's about 3 other bikes like that like when we were kids, we never even saw. Like,
Yep.
okay, if you and I were at a contest in 1987, say we're at the Velodrome, and a kid rolls up in that CW luggage rack bike and is getting ready to go out on his run, you'd look at that bike and think what? You'd be like, that poor kid struggling at home. Like, what's he doing with that bike? It's such a piece of shit. And they couldn't give those bikes away.
Yeah.
That's where I fell into the problem. Yeah. No, seriously. Like, they used to give a local bike shop gave one to a kid because the kid didn't have a freestyle bike, and they gave him that. And we were like, dude, why would you give him that bike? We felt bad that he gave him that bike because it was such a piece of shit. So what I'm getting at is, when I went to this old school bike thing, a guy had one of those CWs and he was like, "Oh, this thing's worth $3,000 and it got shipped in from Guatemala." And then I'm like, and that's when of course I have to tell him the story. I'm like, I go, "We filled a dumpster up with those things."
Yeah.
And the guy's telling me what a great bike it was and how rare it is and the this and that, and I'm like, and that's fine that he's into that whole scene, but when you take a guy that is in it because he thinks the bike's rare and it looks weird,
Right.
and then you take a dude that went to contests back in the day and realized that bike was unrideable, and you put the two together, I'm just like, dude, this is bullshit. This is ridiculous. So that's where I always fell into a problem at those shows where people would think they would have these rare, killer ass, awesome bikes. And I'm like, nobody rode an MCS back in the day. Nobody rode this, Valero bike that Doug Randazzo was on back in 1987. Like, so people just go by pictures and they find these fucking bikes and they take them to these shows saying they're worth, like, put it this way, if the dude had the bike and said the bike was worth $400, I'd be fine. But they're worth $7,000, and I'm like, they can't be.
Yeah.
Well, it only has that value because of other
Ignorant people with money.
With money would say, "Oh, it's rare. You had never seen one of these before." Then it's an assumed value. Yeah, but you're right. You're right, Ray.
When I showed up at Buckeye with my Skyway TA, like right out of my brother's basement, and I had a little pegs on it. I had Skyway pegs and Haro pegs.
Skyway pegs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people that are offering you money, right? They're like, "I'll give you $700 right now," and I'm like, and I was in character. And I'm like, yeah, I got it from this guy, and he said it was Dave Norrie's bike, and like the guy's like, oh well, there's no way of really verifying that. And then one guy said to me, well, that's a race bike. It's not for freestyle. And I'm like, well, apparently Dave Norrie was a freestyle rider. And they're like, and again, like many people didn't know the name Dave Norrie. They're like, Dave Mira? No, it was Dave Norrie. He wrote for Harrow. And so my point is that, Ray, I think you're right on, like, they don't always know the history.
Yeah.
Right.
And then even the bike, like that Skyway, I made it a freestyle bike because that's what I had to work with, and I loved it.
Exactly. Sure.
So
yeah.
That was so funny.
That was awesome. And Ray, that day, Dave went up to RL. That's the day that he went up to RL, and like RL didn't recognize him. And so he was like carrying a conversation with RL, and he, you know, because he had on this like flowered like shirt, and he was in character.
I saw, yeah, he was in character.
Yeah, he was in
but
character.
And plus RL probably hadn't seen him since probably 1988. Yeah, you know, if that, you know.
Stoney should make that video of Dave.
That would be good.
And do the
flying
commentary.
out, flying out to the Buckeye Bike Show and sneaking down and like getting into a disguise and being there to prank RL on RL's first major paid return. Like they flew him out there. They gave him Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
And there was such a long line for RL's autograph. That's
true.
Incredible. It was huge.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave him Red Lobster.
RL got the Rain Man suite for sure.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Oh, they put him up. Wow. They drove him to the hotel.
Is he still going out to stuff? Is RL still traveling and doing stuff like that?
He's taking a break.
It doesn't seem like, nothing's been posted. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not sure.
He was having sponsors and all kinds of stuff, and then I guess it kind of slowed up.
People were just sending him things. Well, hold on a second. Was it Todd? Fact check me. He was buying all that stuff, right? People weren't sending it to him.
You know, I'm not sure.
I think he was buying it. I think it seemed like when I talked to him at the old school, he was talking about, oh yeah, I went and got this from this guy, and it seemed like he bought it, but who knows?
Yeah,
could be a combination of both.
Dave, what's the most recent free thing you got from someone?
I got
the asphalt poured in the potato barn.
This T-shirt right here. Cool stuff.
Cool stuff.
Right. He swindled the guy. As he was backing up the dumpster. Dave does some kind of 80s Jedi mind trick where the guy's like, all right, this asphalt's gonna be, you know, $3,000 a yard. And Dave just goes, hi, my name is Dave Norrie. You're dumping this asphalt and preparing it the way I like it, all for free.
Dave goes, let me show you a Gumby.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Gumby for you, and you're going to get in your truck and tell your boss that I did a Gumby. And if my elbow touches, that doesn't count. Thank you for your service.
Did I ever tell you that I did a show for a free oil change for one of the horror bands?
Oh my God.
I swear to God.
Great.
I swear to God. It was Colorado Springs, and it was Nick Jones, because he's like notorious for that kind of stuff. And he's like, you know, we got the Gumby. I'll get the Gumby to come out here to do a little show for you. And I was like, oh, Nick, come on, really? It's like, no, they want to see you ride. They want to see you ride. And he freaking got a free oil change for a little Flatland demo.
At
the Jiffy Lube. I think it was
just sponsored by Jiffy Lube. That's amazing. That's so rad.
Hey Joe, we ought to do a thing. One of these days when we're all together, we should do a thing for a day. How much free stuff can Dave acquire throughout the day? Yeah. I bet you can get more free stuff than anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you guys are blowing it out of proportion.
sometimes you just gotta ask. Oh, we're not
No,
blowing
that
anything
would
out of proportion.
that would be
When
really
was the last
fun.
time you paid, Dave? When was the last time you paid for a plane ticket to go somewhere bike related?
Oh yeah, Dave never pays anymore.
No,
that's been a couple.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's been a few years.
And then my biggest question is if Reclamation, they build frames. How come Dave doesn't ride a Reclamation frame?
Well, if you've been
Har's not
watching my channel, I thought my coach would check in once in a while, but that's okay. I'm gonna start in the summer. I'm gonna make the transition off the Haro into a double top tube rec bike that they're making.
Oh man, I wonder how much you can sell your Haro for. I'd buy it. I'd buy that Haro.
See,
I'd buy Dave
this
Norrie's
is
Haro.
this is how Dave gets free oil changes, by doing Gumbies. So the Gumby is Dave putting his butt out for everyone to look at. The woman on the bottom is the female version of Dave doing a Gumby to get a free oil change.
Mm-hmm. Did you just make this just now, Joe?
No, I didn't make it. Andrew Guerrero sent it to me earlier.
No, no kidding.
No kidding. This is Andrew Guerrero. He
does make.
So
he's a meme artist.
Oh my God. So we were talking with Rad Dad and his wife, and we were telling them the story of how Andrew played the wrong song in Bentonville, and I just melted down in frustration that he did that in my semifinals. And then he's like, well, you weren't going to win the contest anyway. You weren't going to go to Abu Dhabi anyway. And I was like, I worked very hard for a very long time, and I was figuring that floor out. And he's like, oh, no, you wouldn't have made it to Abu Dhabi. And I was like, you know what? If that's your attitude. So anyway, he and I hug it out. And then he looks at Rad Dad and he goes, I make a dozen memes a week when Joe gets on these spaz attacks that I was the one who kept him from being on Team USA and being eligible for like the $100,000 that was given out at Abu Dhabi. And he goes, and I send them only on DM, and I wait to find the ones that people like the most, and then I send those to Joe.
He has focus groups.
He has focus groups to find like memes where he roasts me. And there's like a dark web of people who just enjoy Andrew Guerrero roasting Joe memes. And I think it's the funniest thing ever.
That is really funny. Ray's not laughing, but
yeah, Ray, how are you not laughing? I don't understand. How is this? This is me getting roasted.
I'm just
no.
I kind of know what Joe's talking about already, and I've laughed previously.
Got it.
I don't like to laugh.
I already got
I
my
don't like
laugh
to laugh
in.
at stuff.
It's a repeat.
I don't like to laugh at stuff twice.
I gotcha. It's a repeat.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ray just called ABD on me. He's
Yeah,
saying,
he did.
Don't
He said,
repeat
I've heard your story
stories."
before, Joe.
Yeah.
I laughed the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Can you
I
go back
also
and get some new
sometimes
stuff?
Joe has me to the point now where, like, a lot of times when Joe, and this is really bad, I hate to admit it, but it's true. A lot of times when Joe just starts talking about something I'm even just like a little bit either uninterested in or don't understand. It's mainly I don't understand. I kind of just like zone out because like it's not. The harder I try to figure it out, I just get confused. Like the more I try to figure it out, it's just too hard. And then a lot of times, and then that's why I like what I'm getting at is every time, Todd, when I ask you to explain something, I'm not doing that as a joke. I need you to explain something. Like, I've never asked you, what's Joe talking about, or can you explain that ever as a joke. That's always for real.
Oh.
And it happens a lot too. You know what I mean? Like, but a lot of times I have no idea what, like, Joe and I connect on so many levels, but we're also so far apart on stuff where, like, the way that he talks and describes things and answers things, I have no time for, and I just don't get it. If somebody came to me and said, "Hey Ray, do you like Red Lobster?" And I'd go, "Oh yeah, like, I love Red Lobster. Like, you get the thing and you get those biscuits. It's great." Now Joe can't answer it like that. Joe answers shit like,
"Oh my God,
hey, do you like Red Lobster?" And he'd go, "I do enjoy food from the sea. Yes." Like, he just puts it in a different way, where he says it a little slower and answers it a little different to maybe to like sound a little more important or like smarter.
That's actually
maybe.
the
Like,
way
he just changes it.
That's actually
like
the
what?
way I see the world, and that's
what
yeah.
you're a weirdo. You're a total fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
but,
absolute weirdo. Like when Angie goes, "Hey, how was your day?" and I start going, and I go, "Well, how was your day?" She goes, "Good." I'm like,
good. Yeah.
Oh,
She's
that's
like,
how,
"Good
what you're
is
trying to
good
that's how
say
enough."
other people, that's how other people
she's
do
a
it.
normal person.
Yes,
Yeah.
Angie
Welcome
is
to
a
the
normal
world
person.
of normal people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so strange to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Ray. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Hit it.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love the painting in Tony's in the background with Dave doing the Gumby. That's a Jason Rideout painting.
Oh wow!
With Dave doing the Gumby at Mission Beach.
Oh, cool.
And then your co-owner.
Yeah, Eddie Fiola. The pipeline.
Fiola.
Those are awesome. I have the Dave one, the Dave Nourie one as well. I love those.
I have three Dave Nourie photos in my garage, and we've seen them and talked about them.
That's awesome.
Dave should be everywhere.
Mm-hmm. When
I'm honored.
Dave this week posted the photo of him on the beach with the 85 Haro Master. I remember having that. It was a full page in photo, and I think it was BMX Plus, and I had that one on my wall for years. Love that photo.
So since I'm from the mid school, I don't really follow the old school stuff. So I was yawning a lot during your guys' conversations, but I got another one from Jason Rideout. Who is this doing?
Rick Allison. Yeah.
Rick Allison.
Is that okay?
Rick Allison, right?
And then one more. I did actually have.
Oh, you got a bunch.
I did actually have Jason do a commission for me. I did.
Oh,
so this is actually original up here. That's of my girlfriend Bree.
That's awesome. Wow, that's super
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, love that.
It was that was actually fun. We went to, I think that was the 2018 or 2019 AFA in Denver, and I contracted it out to him before we were going there, and Bree was with me, and I had to pick it up and take it home and not. It was a surprise for Christmas.
Not show her. Oh,
so I had to figure. Yeah, I got away with it. I got it home, got everything, and then like 10 days before Christmas, I asked him, like, instead of unveiling this, can you send me a coffee mug with the same image on it, and then I'll give that to her as a gift. So she just has a coffee mug and she doesn't know where the picture is, and then I give her that afterwards.
That's great.
It was a pretty exciting moment.
That's a cool setup.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
So I discovered that someone was hacking and stealing Jason's art and putting it on shower curtains and mugs and shorts. And he was not aware of him. And I said, because I sent him something, I said, "Oh wow, I saw these Dave Nourie shorts, and that's kind of cool." And he's like, "I have nothing to do with that." So someone actually took his art and put it on one of those sites that basically you can put the graphic on anything from a mug to a shower curtain.
Oh, that's awful.
So your image is on bootleg merchandise.
Apparently,
That's
I don't know if it still
awesome.
is.
What's that?
Joe
like?
loves
It
that.
still is.
Ray has 3 pieces in his garage.
Oh, that's not bootleg. That's like original Haro stuff.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I want to do now that he's got the potato dome? I want to give him those posters. Would you hang those posters up, Dave? If I somehow got them to
Absolutely.
you?
Absolutely. I got the whole wall that I put up that to separate the two. And that's what I was thinking about doing, is just putting posters and stickers and just covering it.
Awesome.
Those
I just got to
inspiration
my-
walls.
I just got to my spot. It's a beautiful day and there's tennis courts. Plenty of them are open, but there's someone playing pickleball on the one that I can ride on. And I don't know what to do. I don't want to tell them that they have to leave. Or not have to leave. I mean, I don't want to ask them to leave.
Oh, well, the pickleball game's going to be done at some point.
It's a
Ask them what
daughter
inning they're
and
in.
yeah, are they innings? Is that what they have? Is innings? No, they don't have innings, do they?
I don't know. Ask them what it is. Just start talking to them until they're like, oh God, I can't answer questions anymore.
Wait, there's
We're
dudes
outta
playing
here.
pickleball and you're trying to ride. Tell them you're Dave Norrie, you're a professional bike rider. You gotta fuck their pickleball bullshit.
Ask them
I
if
would-
they want an autograph.
Go out and start doing
guys,
tricks. Do a Gumby. If there was ever a time for the naked Gumby, it's now. That'll teach those fuckers.
Hey, speaking of, you know that in Ashland.
What if you ripped your pants in a Gumby? Maybe that's the way we start teasing the naked
God,
Gumby.
sure.
Yeah.
Sneaky naked
I was
Gumby.
gonna,
Sorry,
I was
Dave,
gonna
go
share
ahead.
something. Yeah, I was gonna share something that you would really be interested in
Okay,
knowing.
I'm sorry, Dave. Please
How's
share.
the Big Daddy? How's the Big Daddy? Did you get it built up? Are you doing Gumbies yet? What's the story?
I have not begun my Gumby training. I was
the bike-
freaking out. No, I was assembling it while I was talking to the guy who I thought we were going to meet in Houston to do the editing, and I kept running back into the dome because I had like lost my 10-inch, my S&M Perfect 10 bars, and I was like, oh, damn it, because like the 9.5s weren't making it. So anyway, I get done, I get it as close as it can be. I put it on the 9-inch, and I'm like, I'm just gonna find these 10-inch bars, and I put it right up against the other bike, the Nowhere bike that I got to do the tabletop. Anyway, that night I wake up at 2 a.m. realizing that the 10-inch bars are on the Nowhere BMX. I was looking for these bars, and they were in the same room with me. And I was like, "Oh my God, my brain is way too scattered." So I have the bars. I haven't built them up. I have not begun Gumby training. I think we should training.
I think we should come up with a date. Maybe March 4th. You said that date earlier.
No. I'm not putting a time constraint on this. This is way too important to be constrained by time.
I think that helps though, doesn't it? Let's ask Coach Ray. What do you think? So we got this, eager rider. He wants to learn a Gumby. He paid a bunch of money to fly the bike out there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're finishing their game. They're finishing their game.
If Joe had your kind of time and lifestyle where you're just like sipping coffees and riding around and fucking around with your potato barn, I would give him a time limit. But I think Joe's very busy with work and life and all his other stuff. So if you give him a time limit, that I don't think he has to do it on his time, not a schedule, because I think he wants to do it and do it right. So as long as he accomplishes it, that's all that matters. I don't think it matters when. Joe agrees with me 100%.
I absolutely agree with Ray. I'm thinking there may be an opportunity for me to train the naked Gumby in the mornings, along with my Scott Hagness training. So I started doing transcendental meditation again, the stuff that Jerry Seinfeld and Howard Stern does. So I started doing that again. So that's going to mix up my morning routine. And now that I'm kicked off of a lot of Instagram, actually I have a lot of time. I'm going to make a note about this, Dave. Morning naked.
No pressure. No pressure. I'm just saying, you got the bike flown out there. I figured you.
Well, I'm realizing I am realizing now that I do have time in the morning to do it, and I was like resisting it because I wanted to focus only on the Terra Doom, like do one at a time. But naked Gumby is something that I could do when I cannot do.
Are you going to practice from the get-go naked? Is that how you're going to start? Are you going to?
No. So here's my thinking. Inside, I have a like gymnastics crash mat plus, the carpet. So I'm going to set it up there.
What? No. You don't need a crash mat?
He's almost 50 years old. Let him go, Dave.
I'm going to learn with Rezi.
I don't think it's going to help. Really? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, we're gonna find out. The one thing I am concerned about is with the pedal. If the pedal goes onto anything soft, that will throw the bike off. So I will have to. Ray.
Ray raises his hand.
We have to get Carl Roth on this show. Carl Roth did Gumbies in his run.
He did.
Didn't Carl Roth do a Gumby? He did Gumbies.
I think he did the rear. He did it on the rear wheel though, didn't he? I don't know for sure.
Either way, it's a.
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh man.
Do I need a Gumby coach?
I don't know. I just think I would love to have Carl Roth on here. I don't think Carl would come on just because he's not into it, but he is a wonderful talker and was in the thick of it. He would be as good as Augustin and Ron Haro and Woody. God, I spoke to
get him though, Ray.
A couple months ago for 2 hours. He drives. He goes on long drives for work, and I talked to him for 2 hours. It was the greatest thing ever.
Oh my gosh!
But on the weekends, he's got a wife and 2 kids, and he's involved, and you know what I mean. He'll never be able. There it is.
There it is.
Is that it? Is that Carl Roth?
That's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. We got a Gumby expert. You can do a Gumby?
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay.
What's that Captain America uniform you got on? Christ, that's some patriotic shit.
Those are Air Uni uniform. It was much like the laser bikes or the MCS bikes. Never really made a much of a dent, but I used to do them back in the day.
I want to, Todd. I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you, Joe. Probably.
If I rode over there in that little park corner, would that disrupt you too much? That's okay. I can dodge the balls. Because I can't ride on this court because I can only ride on this one. But I don't want to disrupt your game. So, are you sure? Okay. All right. I really appreciate
Todd,
it.
I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about when you went to that contest. The Ohio contest, 86. That was the first contest that I ever went to. And I would love to hear someone else's version of what they did at that contest. Yeah. Like where they were, where they stayed, what they remember, and all that. So is this not the time, Joe? We got nothing else to talk about, right?
This is perfect.
Who don't want to talk about the old AFA days?
Okay, so 86 was my first Masters contest, my third contest overall. And I remember Gary Pollock did Fire Hydrant to Cherry Picker. First time I'd ever seen that. First time I'd ever saw Pinky Squeaks in person. I also remember
real Pinky Squeaks, right? The real
over the frame. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also remember Gary doing Cherry Pickers in the hotel elevator.
Wow.
Yeah. I ended up getting stuck in that elevator for about 7 to 10 minutes shortly after that. It
really
Yep.
Yeah, Yeah, we were doing a lot of stuff with the elevator back then. I remember.
Yeah.
Like
There
we
was
were 16 years old and just went on a trip. I mean, you think we're not going to cause a lot of ruckus or what?
I remember there was a pool at the hotel and a bunch of rides.
Yep.
Gary was there swimming, I remember. And Mike Dominguez has just gotten in. This was after the Flatland day. So this was Saturday night. Ramp day was the next day. Mike Dominguez had just flown in, and he had a room that was right next to the pool. And once he opened up his curtains to his room and he was putting his bike together, and all these people, riders our age, noticed that it was Mike Dominguez. So everybody lined up in front of his in front of the like his room, like the window. And so he eventually just like slowly drew the curtain back because all like literally probably a dozen or maybe even more people were standing right outside his room, like pressed up against the glass, just hoping he will come out. Let's see.
That's so funny.
I mean, I have like almost the whole contest on video too. So.
Okay, yeah. We have a pretty good video of that too. We have a lot of stuff on video and some of the hotel shenanigans.
Yeah.
But like it's crazy. Like that contest. Like Ron Wilton was there. That's how long ago that was. Like Ron Wilton was there, which is crazy. Maurice Meyer was there.
He was.
And as soon as Rob came out, the camera shut off. It's a shame.
That is so funny to me.
You know what else happened that day? That Sunday was Hands Across America. If you
went on the photo of that. There's a photo in BMX Plus.
Exactly.
And I was there, and I didn't get in it because I didn't fit the look. I went on that. I got in the Lincoln Continental with Carl Roth, Scotty Freeman, Mark McKee, and like 3 other dudes. And we pulled up to the thing. We got up, and they were all holding hands and flipping their bikes over, doing stuff. And it might have been John Kerr. And he was like, "Hey, big guy, hey, can you come over here with?" And he would have put me in the photo.
Oh man.
Yep. That's where Large Ray started, right there, Joe. That's where the birth of Large Ray happened. I'm like, wait a minute, these motherfuckers don't want me in there because I'm a fat dude and I didn't have like a good bike. I didn't have this get up, fuckers. And I was like, you know what?
Fuckers.
I'll be back, motherfucker. I'll show you who ain't getting in the magazines, motherfucker.
Ray became he became a magazine darling for sure. But
yeah, not getting in that photo might have been the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yes.
I remember the photo, Scotty Freeman doing a Miami hopper.
And they posed those tricks forever. It took forever to get them set up to do that, and they're all holding hands, like, okay. And then I remember that. I remember getting there, and because what it was is I took Gary's place because they wanted Gary to do it, and Gary was like, "Fuck, I ain't going to that. I got shit to do."
Gary had to ride ramps that day too, so yeah.
But that contest was. I just remember how many superstars were there. You know what I mean? Like I just remember, like, you know, there was like Eddie Fiola, Dominguez, RL, even like Rich Segur and Martin Napario, Eddie Fiola,
RL.
What contest was this?
Diz wasn't there yet.
Okay, maybe this was the next year. Yeah. This was the '86 May. It was I think Memorial Day Memorial Day weekend of 1986.
May '86. Yeah.
Todd's memory is. I adore Todd's memory because I get all the details when we're on road trips. He can. It's Ray. It's like the most incredible thing. It's like watching or listening to a proper documentary. His voice is like David Attenborough.
They were formative times for me. What I look back at as of like the best of times. So I remember them fondly because they had such an impact on me, and that's why I remember so many of the details. Because it was kind of like, this was awesome. I can't wait to go to the next one. And then the next one would come and I would just, mental pictures of everything because they were so impactful for me. So, but I remember the ramp day, Ray Dominguez, like landing and like his bars going forward, and then like he would just take his bars and move them back and then like keep riding, like no wrenches,
just keep going. Yeah,
just keep going. Like
That's unreal.
yeah. Yeah,
well,
crazy.
During the pro ramp run, I got pulled out of the crowd to hold the ramp steady. There's a lot of video. Like if you watch your video, when Hugo throws the stickers on the first one, I'm holding the ramp because, or actually I was sitting on the ground at that point. But at some point during all that, I think like Todd Anderson run, or maybe like Steve Broderson's run. I was holding the ramp because the ramp was moving so much, and they're like, "Hey, can you do us a favor and hold this ramp?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll hold the ramp." That was like to be involved. It was like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You were the only proper strong man there. Everyone.
Yeah. Well,
you held the
picture
ramp.
how sketchy that is. I had to hold the ramp so the riders could ride. That's how sketchy the ramps were. They were just plopped on the ground.
They were,
and
uneven
like, and shit.
A really slick, like polished.
Yeah, the floor was real.
Yeah,
that floor was real slippery.
Yeah.
Hey Ray,
do
I
you
have
remember?
A question for you. I have a question for you about a trick for my contest. Can it be a trick that I've never done in a contest?
Yes.
Like for example, like I just posted my 3 tricks that I made up in 2019, and I asked which one was which one they liked the best. And it was surprising because they said the double razzmatazz, which is, I didn't think that was going to be the case. You don't like the name? Should I change the name?
Well, I don't know. I just saw you do like a swivel there. I think to step it up, you should do, in your routine, you should do tricks that Large Ray has never done. Because you should never do a trick. Like if you want to, you can't do tricks that I do. Because I'm the bottom of the food chain for Flatland. That right there, I'd get rid of that. Yeah, I'd get rid of that trick. Anyone can do that trick.
What about this one?
That trick right there, that's a...
No, 2 times around though. That's the difference.
In a contest, I wouldn't do that. In a show, you can do anything, but contest, you gotta a lot of your runs. Your runs and contests and your run, you need to separate your runs from contests and your runs from shows.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
Of course.
Hey, Todd, were you at, so you stayed at that hotel in Ohio?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about when everyone went out on a ride and got chased by the LC Assassins and Scotty Freeman and a few other guys got beat up pretty bad?
No,
Really? Scotty got beat up?
I didn't.
He got punched in the face, and he was a little kid.
Yeah, he was
right next to me, and
13
they punched him right in the face.
Yeah, 13 or 14 years old.
It was horrible.
I didn't leave the hotel, Ray. I do remember riding in the
parking lot
and basically watching Martin do bar rides for the first time. In that parking lot, and this was before any hotel shenanigans that I was aware of.
Yeah.
So the hotel allowed us to ride, and I mean it was pre any worries about what could go on with a big group of kids with bikes. So
now the following year, you were there. Were you there also the following year, right? At that hotel, and it was mayhem. You remember how it was like police and helicopters and just all kinds of. They had everything but police dogs running through the house or the.
Andy Johnson tells that.
Yeah, they remembered.
It was really ugly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that whole by early '87, it became a thing Like, in fact, the AFA had really hard time being able to reserve any rooms in any hotel because they were like, wait a minute, isn't this what happened with, you know?
I even heard there were kids putting poop in microwaves at one point.
No, that didn't happen, right? That's a dream. That's a dream.
Stupid little kids looking for attention, man. It's
I
ridiculous.
love that Dave has us in his earbuds while he's riding.
Yeah. That's
And we're watching Dave's session.
Hey Dave. And Todd, you were talking about real pinky squeaks earlier, and I'm from the middle school, so I don't know what that means. So Dave, do you want to demonstrate a real pinky squeak?
I don't think I could do it.
He can't do a pinky squeak.
You got to stand on the frame, right?
Yeah.
You can explain it then, at least for me.
Okay, Todd, I'm your puppet, so just tell me what to do.
Sure. So it's kind of like walking on the tire and stepping over the frame. So over, and then you grab the frame, and then you squeak while on the frame. Step over, squeak. Right? Yep. So it's step on the frame. So it's no peg.
And it's like a regular direction, not a fire hydrant direction.
Only one foot on the tire, and the other foot kicks the frame around.
Yeah. And the other one steps on the frame. You step on the frame, scuff, and then step over.
Okay, I think I know. I think I remember seeing that at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
What about double-footed pinky squeak?
That's when you do squeak, frame, squeak with the other foot, frames. Yeah. So it's alternate.
I tried that once and died.
That one's hard with squeaking with both feet. That's hard. Yeah. But Gary is kind of a masterful at it. Yeah.
Yeah. I can give it a go, but no guarantees. I never do it that way, but like that. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's it.
This is so much fun. Like actually watching Dave ride. I think this is a great innovation.
He'll be able to do all the shows now from the potato barn while he's riding. He won't even it won't interrupt his day.
Yeah, this is a great invention. Mm-hmm. This is a great invention.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know, Todd. That seems.
And then you gotta kick the frame, and then your other foot just floats until it comes back around.
Yeah. What do? Okay. You kick and then step over, Todd? Hold on, walk me through this again.
No, I think you
catch it with your frame. You step on the frame with the catch, and then while there, and then you squeak. And then
squeak.
Yep.
And then do you drop this foot down to this side? Left foot goes on the tire then?
There's got to be a video.
I think the left foot stays in the air if it's not on the frame. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it seems like that's how it'd be.
You squeak, and then where do you put this right foot?
It's pretty much on the tire if it's not stepping over. Does that make sense?
But I'm just trying to understand it. And squeak and then step over.
Yes, you squeak and then step over.
Squeak.
So basically, Dave, it's the same motion that you use but your foot is not on the peg. So when you do a regular, like a peg pinky squeak, think of like it's the same motion.
So that would be like this.
Correct. So so your left foot pretty much stays on the peg. And so your left foot on the other way stays on the frame.
Oh, wow! But
hey, Todd, so back in the day, Gary rode with Brett Hernandez all the time.
Yeah,
and Gary was doing pinky squeaks, and then Brett was just like, "Hey, I could probably do them easier if you do it like this," and then Brett Hernandez would do like 30 of them in his run. And then it was like, so basically the pinky squeak that people do today are really Hernandez squeaks. They really are. Because he's the first one that I ever saw do it.
With the peg.
You know, he just took a trick that Gary did that he was having a problem with. And he's like, well, if you just sneak your foot down on the peg, you can do them more.
Yeah, it's in the
You
it's
know?
in the GTV video. I'm pulling it up here now. I'll send it to the. Yeah, there's footage of Brett on the beach doing I think he's doing the regular pinky squeaks though here, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, that's even better then.
Yeah.
Then that means he was doing them like that.
Dave's never seen GTV though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I might have seen some clips of it, but I don't think I've
What
watched
was that? Joe swallowed them off.
I did a spit take.
I
Yeah.
love the spit take. That's my favorite. That is my favorite comical thing ever in shows, movies, whatever, the spit take.
Oh, I had forgotten that there's a lot of Josh White in this riding Flatland, and he's Dave's neighbor.
And hey, at that Ohio contest, if you remember, Josh rode Flatland, Pro Flatland, and he had no gyro and no pegs on his bike.
That's right, how he always.
He had no pegs on the front, no pegs on the back, and then a Flatland run.
That's how he is in this video
rotor.
too, Ray. That's how he is in this video too.
He was so crazy. Like the talent that dude had was unbelievable. Like he was a natural. Like it was crazy.
I've been trying to get him back out riding, but there's a guy, Chris, that knows him pretty well. And I guess they've gone like just riding around the town. But I sure would like to. Maybe I can introduce him to the potato dome,
potato barn.
Potato barn.
He doesn't even. I bet he doesn't even have the bike out of the. He doesn't even have that bike out of the box. How funny was that? That he's got his signature bike and it's still in the box, and Eddie's like looking at him like, "Come on!" That was the funniest thing ever.
And Eddie was wishing that he had the bike. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, Josh is just chilling with his bad shoulder going, I got mine out. His is buried in the shed. The shed they don't even use. It's just buried in that shed. His signature bike. Oh, that's so funny.
So who have we not given enough time to? I mean, we've uncovered a lot of really funny shit here.
We could do this all. I got nothing but time. You want to keep going, dude? Let's go.
Stoney, Stoney needs some airtime.
Yeah,
so I asked Stoney on here.
He takes care of stuff on Saturdays.
Okay.
So he is all down with doing a rendition of the Haro tour, just like you outlined, Ray. So I'll take a cut from earlier in the show when you were describing, the three old men want to get back to it, and we'll just give it to Stoney and have him make up that thing, and then we can associate that with the GoFundMe and
a lot of fun.
Hey Dave, sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt.
Hit it.
I just had a question, Dave. You used to do those almost like the fork wheelie position handstands.
Yeah, I'm bringing that back. That's why I was taking those cables down in the potato barn, because they would be too low to do that trick.
I was just thinking that is an awesome trick that you should relearn.
I'm scared.
Oh
I'm
God,
scared.
you're gonna pop a hemorrhoid, dude. Take it easy.
As if shit were not bad enough.
Yeah.
For some reason, on my other bike, I can do them better. I don't know why, Todd, but the stem,
is bars or stem?
There's more. Yeah, there's more room for my foot.
Oh,
right here. So there, it's really tight.
Okay.
So I can get a better push off. And I did a decent one at One Love. And I've been doing handstands every day, like just on the ground, just to practice.
Yeah.
But that's definitely one on my list for sure.
Yeah, that you used to get crazy extension on those too, which was awesome.
And hold them. That's what I need to do, is get it and actually hold it for a second. Okay. that's a lot of just feeling comfortable and confident behind that.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Hey,
The
Todd,
bar
how
ride.
much-
I don't know about the bar ride, guys.
Okay,
Don't do the
you'll work up to it.
I did a bar hop the other day,
whatever. Hmm.
and I clipped my feet. It's like the worst thing ever.
Oh, those
Yep.
Slammed back and tweaked my wrist. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it sure scared the hell out of me. So now I'm scared to jump over the bars.
The confidence level on that I've done the same thing.
You got to start with that kind of stuff like very slow. You can't huck that stuff like we did when we were kids, because this kind of shit will happen.
When I tell kids to do it, I tell kids just to jump off and land on the ground, but I can't even get confidence to do that.
You got to find a middle ground. Maybe take your brakes off, or take the. Did you catch your foot on the crossbar or on the brake cable?
Crossbar.
Oh,
Boom.
well.
Backwards.
Yeah.
But the thing also is you can practice by jumping over a broomstick, which I used to be able to do and I can't. So if I could bring that back, then I could probably do it.
Remember what Ron said? Ron said that when he would do the Miami Hopper drop in, he started on curbs, and he just did curbs all until it was dialed, and then he gradually ratcheted it up. So you need to do that for bar hops. Ray, we got a lot of work to do with these guys.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I mean, we're pushing 60.
Oh,
so Ray, I'm thinking
60.
Maybe we could sell tickets to have people join and coach Dave during his Flatland session to help him out. Instead of Dave paying coaches, have coaches pay to hang out with us.
I know something they could do. You know how they do the thing where like Kiss will get like the actual band Kiss will get a cruise ship, and they'll go on like a 5-day cruise, and then all their fans pay to go on the cruise. What if to make money, there could be a Dave Nourie cruise ship, or maybe like a Haro cruise ship, where it's not like maybe it'd be like a 1-day boat ride or something, where they can go and interact, and they could all be old together. You know, they could do it at a senior living facility. You know, because like around here, like it's age 55, you can go to one of those senior living facilities at 55. I keep asking my wife if we can move into one, because in 2 years I'll be 55, and my wife says she's not moving into one because she's currently still the greatest number ever. She's 43. This is her golden year, man. 43.
Wow. Sure.
You know, she's hanging on to that 43. But she doesn't want to move into the retirement home like I do. I love a retirement home. You don't got to cut the grass. You go downstairs and get your rice pudding. You know, and there's people who watch the people who watch the Phillies
move
game.
into retirement.
Yeah,
and you got
bingo.
That is so funny.
Listen, you wake up, you walk around, you have coffee, you start talking, you talk to a couple people, maybe you run the Walmart and get, you know, some Velcro shoes, or do what you got to do. Then you come home, you go to the cafeteria and you get lunch, and then you maybe, you know, go out and do some other stuff. Then I go down to the center, and me and 4 other dudes watch a Phillies game and talk about what it was like at Veterans Stadium when we were kids.
Sure.
And then, you know,
bingo night. You got to remember bingo.
It kind of sounds like the show now that you're describing it.
It's kind of like the show.
Minus the pudding. Minus the pudding.
Rice pudding is dope. You like rice pudding. If I put a bowl of rice pudding in front of Joe, he'd eat it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Joe looks like a rice pudding kind of guy.
Hey,
He's gonna say no, but he is.
I'm definitely gonna try it. What if we did Mississippi riverboat trip with Dave Nourie instead of a cruise ship? Because I don't think Dave.
You get gambling. You get gambling in it. How about gambling? You get a gambling thing. Anything like that.
And Dave can get drunk and.
It's not just me. It needs to be a horror team. I think.
Ron,
it's the whole horror team.
Yeah.
Ron
You know what you
did
could
the,
do? You could how about this? How about this? Why don't you Airbnb the potato barn, but you Airbnb it to freestyle guys where they could spend the weekend at the Dave Nourie training facility. All you got to do is set up a cot and a porta
if you look at
potty.
my face,
You don't got to bring them in your house.
Coach, if you looked at my Facebook page, I posted something about that today. I'm just saying.
See, we're on the same page.
Weekend at Nourie's.
Yeah, that's
Weekend
it.
at Nourie's, man. Instead of
Oh.
Weekend at Bernie's, we'll do Weekend at Nourie's instead of Weekend at Bernie's. We'll get Stoney on that right now. Dave will wear sunglasses.
Todd, can you
Joe
answer
and
those
I'll prop
questions?
them up as we walk.
You gotta
Oh my
you
God,
gotta
that's
answer
so
my little
good.
survey because I'm trying to figure out if people want to camp or if they want to Airbnb.
You know, I think it depends on who they're coming with, Dave. If it's just riders, let me look that up real quick. I'll see if I can find that.
I'm telling Stoney the Weekend at Nourie's.
Oh no.
I'll sign up for that, man. I think I would do it. As long as there's a place to go to the bathroom and I have an outlet to plug in my CPAP, I'm set, dude. You know, I'm in.
Trying to find it here. And
So Ray, I've been thinking about this for some time, and I get the most interested in doing this than teaching kids or doing, regular classes. Like this is like, I want them to, I'm going to have a shuttle. So I'm going to go have someone pick them up at the airport, like give them a little bit of experience that I did, where I had when I was riding in the 80s, but here in Ashland.
Here it is.
So you're gonna have like the wood. It's gonna be like Woodward, but for Flatland.
Yeah, and just a regular weekend.
He said, treat yourself to an awesome weekend riding in beautiful Ashland with Dave Nourie as your host. A group of selective riders meet to experience the finer side of riding and hanging out in the Rogue Valley. Summer date to be determined. Here's a quick survey. Would you prefer camping, hotel, or shared Airbnb? Tour skate parks and flatland spots? Would you fly or drive to Ashland? Focus on riding or riding plus well-being. So these are
You might have to also post Dave's paperwork for when he because when he works with kids, you have to pass the check.
I have all that. I have all that.
You gotta add that too. I got thrown out of my. I was coaching my son's soccer, and then my thing ran out halfway through the season when they said you have to re-up
criminal
it.
Background, criminal background check and CPR.
Mine ran out. My 5-year thing ran out, and they're like, "You're gonna have to do another one." I said, "I'm not paying $83 to
people are going to be in their 40s. They're going to be in their 40s plus.
But there might be kids. There might be kids that want to do it. There might be kids that want to learn Flatland.
That's true.
Weekend at Nourie's is the greatest thing ever because it'll be Kevin Martin, Ron, and Brian, and they're all going to be hanging out, and then you can go and hang out with them all.
Yep.
And they're going to talk
I'm
about
probably
the tour.
The first customer.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
that
the
would
first
be awesome.
customer.
Yeah.
And then they can plan the tour or talk about how they're going to plan the tour.
You could set it up like a horror show. You could have the wedge ramp and the quarter pipe. You could get a abandoned van and paint it like the old horror logo.
If you just had a
Ray,
wedge ramp in the Potato Dome.
Did you just call it a quarter pipe?
Yep. A quarter pipe. I didn't say pike. Come on, are you kidding me?
No, I thought you were doing the dentist thing.
No.
Pipe
the pipe
jump.
jump. The
Pipe jump. Pipe jump.
Ramped up
dude,
the pipe jump.
You were on an episode of Props that I saw a couple weeks ago. It was you and Gary, and you.
No. That was a Dave Mirra Super Tour.
Oh,
no, that was a Dave
yep.
Mirra Super Tour, and we were asked what was your favorite part of the thing, and Gary and I were there, and I said my favorite part was when Dennis McCoy ramped up the pipe jump to the back wheel, to the flip, to the skid John. Double twice both on the Crump's pin foil, and Gary goes, "Stupid dope." The funny thing about that is years later, I ran into Scott Town and he's like, dude, I hadn't seen you and Gary in like 15 years. And I was watching the Dave Mirra Super Tour and goddamn, you and Gary were on there and he was dying. He was like, I couldn't believe I saw you on there.
That's amazing.
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. So Dave,
Ramped up the pipe jump.
you can incrementally bring the show back by having a wedge ramp in the Potato Dome.
No, I already thought I have to have a quarter pipe and a wedge. It just is.
Yeah,
just
you gotta
that
have a
they're
wedge ramp.
It's not very tall. Like they could not do 8-foot airs, which I'm not sure.
Where would you put a quarter pipe in your compound?
Well, one on each. So the wedge will be by the door that you come in, and then the quarter pipe will be. I'm going to build a wall that's 50 feet in because I'm splitting it, and it'll be up against that wall.
Let me make sure that I'm very clear. The Potato Dome I saw had a ceiling that was 10 feet high at max.
Well,
Correct?
there's some restrictions because there's some support beams that come across, so we have to be pretty strategic.
Okay.
And
I was asking you where the 8-foot quarter pipe would go, and I can't see that it would go inside the Potato Dome.
Do a 6-foot one then. Fuck it.
Yeah,
No
I'll do a
one's riding
small
that
one.
thing.
I'll do a small one. What was
Just
the
let it
size
says
at,
Haro on the side.
how big was the one, Joe, at Chenga?
The ceiling is very high at Chenga, and I don't think that. I'm just trying to imagine.
I'll measure it, but whatever I could do, it's going to be between 6, maybe 7 foot quarter. It's fine. I mean, just so that we don't have to do a full show.
It's a 7-foot quarter inside of a 10-foot tall building. I just want to make sure that
it's not 10 foot. It's taller than 10 foot because it's an arc, so it's probably 16 at the top.
If you carve, you hit the. You have to go straight up. That's funny. Oh well, Dave's. This is a great idea. Weekend at Nourie's.
I just want to interview the people that go there that pay to go spend the weekend there. Like that would be more interesting than anything.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna lay down $500 to see Dave do the same tricks he's been doing for the past 40 years?
To hang out with Dave and a lot of people, I think would. I mean,
Dave,
I think it's unbelievable.
Dave's going to clean up selling access to his friends. Absolutely clean up. 100%.
I think he could. For sure.
CJ and I were
also
talking.
Like special guest Josh White, he could limp down from the woods and come down.
Josh White can limp down from the woods.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to travel. That's amazing. Yeah.
Josh White can show up with his signature bike in the box, and that would be the attraction. This is so good.
People are going to try to buy it from him.
People are going to try to buy it from him. A live auction.
Yeah.
Oh, people would buy that. Dude, if you had Josh's bike that they gave him in the box, somebody'd pay $2,000 for it.
Oh my gosh.
And Josh would be like, $2,000 for this? I'll just go get another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do that every month. Dave's gonna just have grown men coming through, hanging out with
grown men. Is there a difference between men and grown men?
That's
got to be a difference, right? Because like a man is a man.
A man is a man.
But like grown man, and then is there a grown ass man? There's 3 different men. There's men, grown men, and grown ass men.
If you are trying to assert that someone should be treating you better, you will say, I'm a grown-ass man, and this motherfucker is telling me with his head bobbing attitude how sponsors work. Todd observed someone mansplaining to me how sponsors work at the Jam Circle. Dave also observed it, and Dave observed me telling this person to change his fucking attitude real fast as he was mansplaining this shit to me. I was like, dude, stop. So yeah, I would say I'm a grown ass man, and you're mansplaining how sponsors work to me.
On my tiny little screen on my phone, it looked like Todd just took a sip of Kiro syrup. That's what I'm gonna fill up a Kiro syrup thing with just water and just sit there and drink it. I'll take it to work and just be like,
and then wait for someone to ask for a sip of your water.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well. All right, what else are we doing? Are we done? I gotta go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I think we're done. This is the easiest. All right. We got to tell Sonny or Stoney how this ends. How does Weekend at Nourie's end? I go, all right. Hold on. Let me ask the guys. So I'm
You got to get a gift bag.
Stoney.
There's got to be a
so
gift bag.
So Stoney goes, I said, hey, Stoney, we have a segment on the show that explains the storyline. It's a dramatization of the idea behind the Haro tour. And this is, I was saying, hey, are you available for a commissioned story that tells, a BMX story like Kissgate? And I go, okay, well, cool. Todd saw some high school kids raise $260,000 for a janitor to retire. So we want to use this to get these kids inspired to inspire internet fundraising, because me and Ray are not telling compelling money throwing stories. Like they raised $700. So he goes, is it explained in the show in detail today? And I go, yeah. I go, we have two ideas. The new one is called Weekend at Nourie's, like Weekend at Bernie's. And it's Ron, Brian, and Dave, and a bunch of dudes who pay to go, and they just all hang out for the weekend. And Stoney goes, how does it end? And I was like,
by rolling a van.
How is that story?
By rolling a van on the way back to the airport. That's how it.
Yeah. That would be perfect.
There you go. This is how people write stories these days.
Ron picks everyone up at the airport on his motorcycle.
On the motorcycle. Yep.
And then it ends with him rolling the van as he takes people back.
Do we have an exact account and number and names of the people that were in the van when it rolled?
Dave.
The only confirmation is Dave Nourie and Ron Wilkerson. Do we know who else was in the van?
Brian Blyther, Josh was in there, I believe. Chris Daci was in there.
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson, DMC was riding shotgun and did a rap.
Chris Darcy.
Wow. And for that van rolling, like nobody got hurt. That's crazy.
And there was a toolbox.
Wow. Oh, that just
it was slow motion
like
though. It was really slow. It was the slowest.
Okay.
It was a tip to the side to upside down. Is how I describe it.
Oh, it went completely upside down, like it ended on the roof.
Oh. Yeah. Crazy, right?
And then, and then he said that he was avoiding a dog. Correct? So the dog ran out in front of him. The old
he jumped
dog
out. He was trying to tell everybody that was in the. There's like 50 kids on bikes, practicing for the contest, and he's trying to tell all the riders, "It was a dog. It was a dog. Tell him it was a dog. I swerved to miss a dog." In that panic, like Wilkerson frantic mode that he gets.
I've seen it.
All right, so Dave, we've got Stoney who's going to make a movie about Weekend at Nourie's. It's going to be a trailer, and it starts with.
God, I hope
It starts with Ron picking up people at the airport on his motorcycle, and then they all go. Then they all go to your house and bro down at the Potato Dome, and then it ends with Ron rolling a van full of people on the way back to the airport, and everyone is unscathed because they all put on helmets and pads.
And they're in the guidance of the Haro team, so you got this golden light around you, so you're protected by them.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's awesome. So I'm gonna start riding. I got another rider that showed up, so we're gonna have a little session. So it's been good. I like these ideas, and I'll work on those bar hops and bar rides, and anything else new.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Right, cool. All right, I think we got this done. Stoney's on it, and they're all protected by the magical golden light of the Haro team. Done. We're gonna get something amazing, and you're gonna get 260.
2 hours and 40 minutes. This might be our second longest show.
We might have to go 3 more minutes so we can call it 2:43 then.
Yeah, let's go 3 more minutes. Where do you see the numbers? Ray, can you tell us when it's 3 hours and 43 minutes?
Well, I'm just looking at what time it is. Right now it's 5:40. We started at 3, but we really started at I came on at 2:50.
All right.
So
we're
So we've
past
been
the
on
40.
for
past it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hey, I was watching The Italian Job yesterday. Can I show you a clip?
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's
Hey guys, I'm
it's
out.
legit.
I'll see you next time. All right.
All right,
Hey, Dave.
see you,
All right, see you,
Dave.
bye. The Italian Job. Let's see
Is
what's
that the
that
one
about.
with they drive the Mini Coopers?
Yeah, that's when they introduced the Mini Cooper.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love this. Okay, here we go.
He rolls it.
Wow. This is The Italian Job. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Wait for it.
How long to crack it? 4 minutes and 43 seconds.
Oh.
And
That's crazy.
we're watching it, and
You probably couldn't sleep that night.
when it happens, we're just watching this, we're having wine, we're chilled out, and I'm like that Leonardo DiCaprio, like
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on, stop.
Stop everything.
And she's like, oh, like it always happens. It
Yeah.
happened in that Eddie Murphy movie that was on Netflix. The price of the album was like $4.43, and I was like, stop, I gotta take a thing, and I take and then I take video of it, and then I send it to the group text for DJ Scratchcock.
I got it.
It's like the best life ever that I'm living.
I told you. I remember telling you about the 43 thing, and I warned you. I said, Joe, it's probably something you don't want to get into because it's everywhere, and you're like, oh, it can't be everywhere. And it is.
I am loving it. Sean Jarvis, it is like haunting Sean Jarvis in Australia, and he's sending it to me. He's trying to break it with 23, but I'm like, nope.
No, it doesn't work.
It
No.
doesn't work.
When we
It's
were-
like
When we
having
were
an old
driving
friend.
back from
Mm.
Joe, when we were driving back from Houston, we were just driving straight back to Wisconsin, and I was timing. I had my clock on the dash, and then I had the temperature, and the temperature was fluctuating from 30 degrees all the way up to like 45 degrees, and I was trying to let it hit to 43. And then when the hour was 12:43 or 1:43, I texted you when it was close, but it was 2:43s. And then I was also I had whatever music was playing the time on it. I was trying to get 43 seconds somewhere in there, and I'm driving and I'm trying to snap pictures of all this. So,
You're like, I'm going to slow down to 43 miles per hour, Bree. Don't mind this.
Right.
We were doing that. Like there was something about like if you get to some state when like at midnight, it like we had one of those where it was like 12 o'clock, and then you were arriving and you had 43 miles to go, and you would arrive at 12:43. So somehow we were driving like 43 miles an hour on average, and we had a couple of those. Hey, Nitschke sent me one the other day. It's just like super incredible, and there's like 3 because they're on his dash. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. I love that we talk about 43s on this show. Okay, so give me a second here. And then we'll totally hang up after this. Okay, so this is Nitschke. Look at this.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good one.
Cool.
That's a real good one. He and I send them back and forth. It's like the best little cult club ever. All right, boys. We got to get back onto our families. Love, peace, and rabbit teeth.
Chicken grease.
See you guys.
See you guys.